Part 24. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Chingjomi Se. Chapter 233. Why did Chen Shen add Myrna as a friend? It's not that he saw the key point of this group chat, but he felt that if they dragged me to chat about romance in the group, wouldn't I be embarrassed? Thanks to Sister Myrna for taking care of me. It must be my sister's great efforts to make Lianzone popular. It's already a lot of trouble for my sister. I probably guessed what my sister is looking for. I'll be fine. Don't worry. It's only 3 years anyway. At worst, I can just play for 3 years. Black Gold Entertainment has wasted 2 years on me. I just have a lot of ideas. I like to write when I have free time. I might have to trouble my sister later. Chen Shen ignored it and kept typing. It may seem childish, but it is an active display of weakness. The problem now is not to fear that the other party will look down on you, but to make the other party feel that you are very close. Soon, the other party responded with an emoticon of covering his mouth and laughing. He also said that he is introverted. Just understand. The reason why we are looking for you is that we appreciate you and value you. If you are in trouble, just tell us and we will help you find a solution. After chatting for a few words, Chen Shen logged out of WeChat. Qian Zhonghui definitely doesn't need to take the initiative to defend himself. If he can say a few words, he has already given Tian a lot of face. As for Chu Fei, if you want to be a good guy, let him be. If you can win Huan Yu, then you are a competitor. The traditions along both sides of the river cannot be lost. The 6th issue of Love Lesson is online. In fact, since the morning, an entry has been popping up again, Sister Mo, thank you. He rushed to 4th place. Of course, the entry for Huan Yu's stock price is higher and ranks 2nd in the most popular searches. After the popularity continued to ferment, as soon as the program started, a huge number of ads came in. The 2-minute commercial is solid, followed by various analysis in the observation room. As of now, in the entire romance drama, there is really only one person who doesn't like Chen Shen, Zhou Gaikan. Su Mo definitely likes him too, but it's not the kind of love that men and women like. Compared with other male guests, even if they can cope with it, Su Mo yet also found Chen Shen. You must know that this has a huge impact on Su Mo's reputation. Of course, the observation room also has different opinions, saying that Chen Shen was chosen because he didn't like it. No pressure to choose someone else. Why don't you choose Chen Shen casually? As of now, it seems that Chen Shen has not taken any advantage from Su Mo in the content that has been played. Brother Joe, my hero, I read the comments on the internet and said that you worked hard to win Chen Go in the last 2 periods, so Chen Go signed with Huan Yu, is that right? Huan Yu and Yuan are actually separated by a river. Why did I think of the cowherd and the weaver girl? Is it because Yuan didn't let King Ai fall in love? Chen Shen went to Huan Yu in anger, and he went to Yuan to fight. Thank you Chen Go for letting me make money in the stock market. No one can call me the god of wealth, otherwise I, Zhang San, will be the first to disagree. Sister Mo, play with him hard and whip him with a small leather whip. At the same time, in a luxury community on Bibin Road, JB District, Yuzhou. If Chen Shen were here, he could see Su Yuan, who had lost a lot of weight, sitting cross-legged on the sofa, tightly wrapped in pure white cotton pajamas. After losing weight, his face immediately became much more refined. There was movement from the kitchen, and another girl with short hair trotted out carrying 2 bowls. Hot, hot, hot. Pan Hongji, Su Yuan's best friend. Brown sugar glutinous rice balls, just tell me if I am considerate or not. Su Yuan reached out and tugged on Pan Hongji's clothes. Pan Hongji moved away and looked back at the TV, then frowned. You don't watch romance dramas, don't you? Su Yuan pouted, just watch, if you don't watch, you won't be hard-hearted. Pan Hongji sighed and sat down next to Su Yuan, right next to Su Yuan. This period of time, let alone Su Yuan, was a bit torturous for Pan Hongji. At first, she really thought it was because of her good best friend. At that time, to Pan Hongji, Chen Shen was still a handsome boy, not a Chen dog or a scumbag. Only after it was aired did I know the actual situation. Good guy, I just caught my best friend cheating on her by herself. He told Su Mian that he was not here to fall in love, and everything was brought to light with Xiaoqing Ai. Who knew what they said in the car, but Su Mo was not honest with his best friend. Why do they want to go out to play? It was because some relatives around Su Yuan were gossiping. It turned out that the daughter Yuan's mother and Yuan's father showed off to on the show was deceived by others into thinking she was a little girl. After returning from traveling, Su Yuan rented a house outside. Pan Hongji reached out and hugged Su Yuan's arm. It's okay, it's okay. Let's think about it from another perspective. Recently, many people have approached us to discuss business. The highest price for a graphic advertisement has reached 200,000 yuan. At least there has been a qualitative change in our career. Look at this house, have you ever dared to think about it? Su Yuan hummed. She hadn't started accepting business deals yet. Recently, she was looking for more and more big names. She should be able to accept them if she waits a little longer. While traveling, Su Yuan asked his best friend to quit her job. There were many things that she couldn't do alone, which was equivalent to asking her best friend to work with him. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood, and it's particularly uncomfortable when no one is with me. On the TV screen, that figure finally appeared, and his eyes seemed to have lost focus. He clearly appeared on the TV, but it seemed to have jumped into his head. It was so kind. Perhaps noticing Su Yuan's condition, Pan Hongji used a little force to hold Su Yuan's arm. Hey, this step will come sooner or later. It's not good to keep not facing it. Let's see, take a good look, I'll accompany you. If you really can't let it go, call him. The person who tied the bell must untie it. If you think you can let it go, then I will accompany you to desensitize. Don't take any work first, let's talk about it after we get better. Su Yuan instinctively leaned on Pan Hongji, thinking along the lines of her bestie's words, and in the blink of an eye, tears fell. However, before Pan Hongji could speak, Su Yuan broke free from Pan Hongji's arm, wiped away tears and waved his fist, saying, I can do it, isn't it just a man? Su Yuan, can't let go of a man. Pan Hongji, yes, isn't it just a man? Think about your previous goal. If you can't find a good man, you can make a lot of money. Now you can make a lot of money, what do you need a man for? Su Yuan leaned forward, lowered his head and drank a sip of brown sugar water, then wiped away tears again. I hate people cheating me the most, I can't forgive those who cheated me. Pan Hongji hesitated slightly, glanced at the screen, and immediately waved his fist and said, yes, if you can cheat the first time, you can cheat the second time. He cheated on you not because he likes you, but because he thinks we have no background. Even if he is cheated, there is nothing we can do about him. Su Yuan started drinking brown sugar water again, and tears came down again while drinking, but I miss him so much. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 234. Chen Shen had already started to do his own thing, but his WeChat kept vibrating, so he took his phone over again. Chu Fei at Chen Shen, you have a talent, absolutely a talent. You knew there was a camera, but you still dared to say that to Su Mian. Did you know Su Mian's background at the time? Chu Fei at Chen Shen, I have met Su Qiujun. That guy is a ruthless person. When the illegitimate child incident broke out, it was said that he immediately sent the illegitimate child and his mother abroad. It seems that they have not returned until now. You are not afraid at all. Chu Fei at Chen Shen, awesome. Anyway, you just ignore the camera and play games immersively. Let Fang Ye stop trying to match you up. Focus his attention on Su Yuan. There are a lot of messages in the group, either Chu Fei talking to himself, or at Chen Shen or at Myrna. Chen Shen probably guessed the point of the show. The last episode ended at the place where he said he broke up with Su Mian. Then he coaxed her and thought that Fang Ye was behind the matchmaking. He also hinted to Fang Ye that he liked Su Yuan. Even if he wanted to match her up, he should match Su Yuan with himself. Damn, is this boss serious? Does he like to watch so much? After reading the group message, Chen Shen found that someone added him. He clicked in and saw that it was Chu Fei. Chen Shen clicked to agree. No, are you really pretending to be dead? That's Jian Zhonghuai. Your happy Zhao Jingquan has to take the initiative to smile and politely call him Mr. Qian when facing him. Just after passing, Chu Fei sent a message. Chen Shen, I'm a little introverted and can't follow the boss's topic, really? Chu Fei, dot. Thousands of miles away, Myrna was a little happy, a little bit of bad fun that suddenly came after work. I have dealt with Chu Fei a lot in the past few years, and the relationship is well maintained, so I specially asked him to chat with me. Indeed, he also understood, and he was very professional in his role as a chat companion. However, the host stopped chatting with the guest, and the chat companion chatted in the group. Going back to look at the few words sister that Chen Shen sent to her, it was meaningful. So, was it intentional? After grasping the main and secondary, even Chu Fei didn't deal with it? Myrna looked at the computer screen. It was already the second day of the show. Under the wide-angle lens, Chen Shen was running and Su Mo was skipping rope. She did know Su Mo, their family backgrounds overlapped. She knew about this person when she was a child. They went to the same high school, but Myrna was a few years older than Su Mo. Peng Cheng is very big for most people, but it's okay for a few people. At a certain level, even if they don't know each other, they have heard of each other. Su Mo is very famous in the circle of investors in Peng Cheng. Her qualifications are impressive, and her growth story is also a bit legendary. Her goal is too clear. When the general environment still requires studying abroad, such as Myrna, she returned from studying abroad and then joined Penguin Video. Su Mo took the initiative to study in China, and she was going there to invest while studying. When she was a junior, her family dared to let her take tens of millions of funds to start a listed company. When the group of classmates who went abroad came back and were thinking about how to stay at the forefront of the times, the companies invested by Su Mo were about to go public. It was also at that time that Myrna remembered Su Mo later. She met and talked with him in some business places. She admired him very much and was somewhat competitive. The big environment and the same circle, the age difference was only 3 or 4 years, and they were all career-oriented. People around them also talked about her when they were bored. There are many rich second generations, but there are not many rich second generations who can stand on their own and be remembered by a certain industry. Su Mo went to the dating variety show, not to mention the fierce discussion on the internet. People around Myrna were gossiping at the time. Very surprised, but also felt that it was something she could do. In this circle, the main impression of Su Mo is pragmatic, bold, and independent. To put it bluntly, there is an inherent impression that people with great talent have a certain reason for doing anything. Of course, there are also some people who are laughing at the joke, saying that Su Mo is not aloof. Why is she still on a dating show? They don't think Su Mo is going for men. There is no need. As long as she wants, there is no man she can't find. Most people think that she is going for reputation and attention. With such good qualifications, it's time for a qualitative change. Contrast is popular in this era. A beauty seems to be commonplace. Isn't Duyan full of beauties? But, a beauty who raises pigs has more attention points. From the current results, Myrna feels that Su Mo seems to have caught it again. Almost everyone knows that there is a very powerful and young investor in China, and she is a lady. I'm crying, I finally saw Sister Mo's co-pilot. It's not easy, I thought Sister Mo's co-pilot would become the biggest unsolved mystery of this show. Damn, it's so natural, Chen Go sat so naturally. On the screen, Chen Shen got into Su Mo's car, and a bunch of people sighed on the barrage. Su Mo's co-pilot, this term has been on the hot search. Behind it represents the mysterious line between Chen Shen and Su Mo, which seems to have no progress, and it seems that a lot of things have happened. Myrna leaned back in the chair and watched the show, which was rare and leisurely. Peng Cheng is too far away from Yuzhou, and the career is not in the same industry. Myrna really doesn't know Su Mo's recent situation, which is another reason that prompted her to watch the show. Chen Ziaza, do you know how much influence your dating with Su Mo has in our circle? Myrna sent a message to Chen Shen on WeChat. 7 fairies descending. Myrna burst out laughing. It wasn't that serious. It was just that Su Mo used to be like a golden statue in this circle, but now this golden statue is broken. In the future, when talking about Su Mo, I may not say how great or excellent she is, but say that Su Mo does whatever she wants in the love variety show. In the show, Chen Shen fell asleep as soon as he got in the car, but Su Mo looked at Chen Shen from time to time. While waiting for the traffic light, Chen Shen opened his eyes. Are we there yet? Su Mo said unhappily, you are so amazing. You fell asleep as soon as you got in the car. You didn't even talk to me or help me get rid of my sleep. Didn't you sleep well last night? Chen Shen, stop talking. Last night, brother Ye talked to me about life for at least an hour. Su Mo smiled and said, did he tell you to be open and above board, treat yourself and the people around you well, be honest, kind, and loyal? Chen Shen interrupted, you are too explicit. You are talking privately. The barrage was full of laughter. For the audience, these scenes were a new world that was unlocked for the first time. There was a feeling that Su Mo and Chen Shen got along like this in private. More sober than Su Yuan and Su Mian, and a little more lacking perspective on the rules than Xiaoqing Ai. Ha ha ha, Sister Mo is still sober. Xiaoqing Ai is too weak. She actually said that Chen Shen is not a scumbag. Look at Sister Mo, she recognized his true nature without even opening the perspective. Sister Mo is awesome. I feel relieved when I see this. Chen Go is as transparent as a scumbag in Sister Mo's eyes. Sister Mo, please, you really need to teach this kind of person a lesson. Seeing this, Myrna shook her head. She still had a little bit of bad taste in her heart. What if Su Mo really fell in love with Chen Ziaza? Then for this circle, is Su Mo a kind of degeneration? It's not that she looks down on Chen Shen's background and ability, but that people like Chen Shen are not a good match. Myrna called Chen Shen Chen Ziaza, firstly to get closer to him, and secondly, she thought that people like Chen Shen were indeed scumbags. He himself understood the nature of scumbags. There are indeed not many charming people in this world, but there are really few charming and restrained people. Su Mo's sobriety is inevitable in Myrna's view, and it's a bit of a pity. The show continues. Su Mo, why would he lecture you on this? So, you're the one with something on your mind. Chen Shen stretched out his body, as if he really listened to Su Mo's words, and talked to her to relieve his boredom. Mian blocked me at the stairs last night and said she wanted to break up with me. Su Mo frowned immediately, break up. Chen Shen, yes, I feel that Ye Ji must have said something to Mian. Mian is a blank slate in terms of feelings. I'm always cautious with her. How strong can Ye Ji be in terms of feelings? He changed his career halfway and still gave guidance to others. Isn't that a problem? He actually caused trouble for me, don't you think so, Sister Mo? Under the camera, Sumo's hand holding the steering wheel began to exert force unconsciously. Ha ha ha, good, good, Chengo, you said it very well. There is nothing wrong with this complaint, Sister Mo, you should be more careful. Of course, you must remember the grudge, remember it? It's so funny, Chengo, you not only offended Sister Mo with one sentence, but also offended Brother Yet. If you don't die, who will die? Myrna laughed non-stop. This is the main reason why this program is popular. Whether it is in terms of form, content, or setting, there is almost no boring point. Su Mo, better than you. Better than me? Sister Mo, are you okay? Others don't know, but you don't know? What did I do? Brother Ye doesn't understand, but I understand. Sister Mo, you can't not understand, right? Chen Shen's tone seemed a little aggrieved. Of course, I admit that Brother Ye is good in everything, but he is a little hard to turn around. He feels that he has to take care of others before he has figured it out. Su Mo sighed, you should go to sleep. The barrage laughed, and the observation room also laughed. The voiceover was still analyzing that according to the reason why Su Mo asked Chen Shen out, she was originally planning to trick Chen Shen, and now she is stepping on thunder. A little after 10 o'clock, Su Mo took Chen Shen to a hot pot restaurant. At first, the audience thought it was a normal dating process, until Chen Shen said in surprise that they were eating so early. The audience reacted. Eat, eat for me, and then write a 100,000 word self-criticism, why Chen Hotpot made Sister Mo lose money. Ha ha ha, I understand, didn't Chen Shen take Sister Mo to his house, probably explain the reason for his identity, and then Sister Mo found a bunch of hotpot restaurants to let Chen go reflect. I feel better, so far, it seems that only Sister Mo has the initiative. Laugh, why doesn't Chen go laugh? Su Mo didn't hide it at all, saying that today was a hotpot party, the kind that eats all the time, to investigate the market, and the barrage was full of ha 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 ha. Everyone is saying, look, this is the power of Party A's father. Every time Su Mo ticked a box on the menu, Chen Shen's face became more solemn. Well done, you ordered 8 dishes in the first place, I feel comfortable, I really feel comfortable. Chengo, your nemesis is here, I thought you also played with Sister Mo's co-pilot, it turns out it's just like this. Hey, I'm a little uncomfortable all of a sudden, as expected, it's not operational across classes, girls like Su Mo are not only excellent, but also extremely sober. Don't call me financial circle, you guys are awesome, okay. Su Mo looked at Chen Shen with a smile, and Chen Shen was still taking the initiative to serve the dishes. After the dishes were cooked, she looked at Chen Shen with a smile and ate, and then asked, how is it? Chen Shen, normal. Su Mo, why do I feel it's delicious? Chen Shen, it's good overall, just like a normal hot pot. Sister Mo, how many restaurants have you prepared? Su Mo looked up and smiled, 6. Chen Shen, dot. The barrage started to laugh again. They were too stimulated. Seeing Chen Shen's frustration, they were releasing it. Amid the huge amount of ha ha ha, there were various comfortable barrages. Myrna smiled and nodded. Zhao Chunsheng still didn't want Chen Shen's life that much, and was gradually releasing the hatred that Chen Shen had caused. 8 dishes, Su Mo tasted almost a little of each dish, and then watched Chen Shen eat, and Chen Shen was sweating profusely. The barrage turned into killing the scumbag with her own hands again, well done. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 235. An hour later, Su Mo and Chen Shen sat at the table of the second hot pot restaurant. If you exit and check Weibo at this time, you will find that everyone on Weibo is saying that this episode is good and asking everyone to come and watch it. The people below refute, saying go to hell. They said the same thing at the beginning of the previous episode, and it turned out to be Chen Go's cool game again, and they refused to believe it. Su Mo held the menu, and Chen Shen stared at her pitifully. Su Mo smiled and said, since it is an inspection, then you have to order a normal hot pot dish, right? After that, Su Mo started to tick on the menu again. The last restaurant hardly switched the camera, and in the end Chen Shen ate the hot pot with the camera accelerated. When Su Mo and Chen Shen first arrived at the second restaurant, the barrage was all ha 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 ha, let alone now. Chen Shen stopped looking at Su Mo. He looked at the waitress standing next to him and whispered, "Sister, are your portions small? Or do we actually not have some of the dishes? It's still early, and we're still preparing the dishes, right?" The elder sister glanced at the direction of the camera and immediately shook her head and said, "No, no, no, we have everything. We are very affordable. One portion is the amount of 2 portions of others. You can eat it without worry. We are the most conscientious in doing business." Chen Shen was dumbfounded, and Su Mo burst out laughing. There were 7 or 8 dishes again, all of which were regular hot pot dishes. When the dishes were served, the audience found that the elder sister did not lie at all. The meat slices were piled up, and the yam was on a large plate. Compared with the previous one, it was indeed 2 portions. A great game, it's really a great game. Chen Go doesn't eat spicy food, but now he's eating hot pot, which makes things worse. It's so funny, Chen Go, are you stupid? You asked everyone with a camera how much they wanted, but they didn't give you a full portion. Come on, give me another charming one, you're really charming. Is this Su Mo, so scary? Myrna couldn't help it, she was laughing alone in the study room. The content of the show was fine, but the barrage of comments made the show more effective. She knew what she was doing, and she was still amused even though she knew it was a way to relieve pressure. It was a good thing for her, who Anya would definitely not be able to keep Chen Shen, and she could wash away the hatred on the show, and then she could directly work on the project and do business when she came to Penguin. Chenziaza, why did you mess with her? Su Mo is a maverick in our circle on WeChat, Myrna sent another message to Chen Shen. Chen Shen's attitude was okay. He was originally trying to build relationships. At first, he was thinking about group chatting, and it would be best if he could chat privately. Myrna took advantage of the chat and expressed her feelings directly. Chen Shen didn't reply, and Myrna didn't care. She continued to watch the show. When each dish was served, Chen Shen's face became uglier, and Su Mo even covered her mouth and laughed at the end. The dishes were served, and then she ate with her head held high. In a few minutes, she was sweating profusely and breathing heavily while eating. How is it? Su Mo started to ask Chen Shen to do market research again. Chen Shen, it's okay, affordable. Is the last one so-so because it's not affordable? Chen Shen breathed and said, the last one was because there was no obvious advantage, this one is really affordable. It was still the same as the last one. Su Mo just tasted each one, and then watched Chen Shen eat. It was originally an open-air table, and the bright sunshine could be seen under the parasol. It was also a steaming hot pot. Chen Shen's sweat on his head was really like rain. The direction of the comments has begun to change. There are still 4 families, won't he be eaten to death? Chen Go, come on, are you really being pressed to death by Sister Mo? You are the #1 scum in China. Hey, Sister Mo is really cruel, she can be indifferent even when looking at this face. No way, no way, someone is starting to feel sorry for her. Under the camera, Sumo's somewhat stunning face slowly lost its smile. She kept watching Chen Shen eat, and Chen Shen didn't say anything, just lowered his head and ate hard, his face red from the spiciness, and he ate while breathing. Su Mo sighed, and then started to pick up food for herself. Seeing Su Mo picking up the food, Chen Shen directly used a large spoon to scoop up the food for himself, and reminded her, "It's been cooked for too long, the taste is coming out, and it's a bit spicy." Su Mo only took a bite and frowned, "Don't eat it?" Chen Shen smiled and said, "It's okay, I'm from Yuzhou, and my family also makes hot pot." Su Mo looked inside the store, "Boss, please help me get a few more bowls and chopsticks." Seeing Su Mo asking the camera teachers to sit down, question marks began to float on the barrage. However, there were fewer people scolding this time. Chen Go is still very sincere, just like drinking, you can't be timid when you are at the table. "I suddenly feel a little sad, poor young master, you really made others lose money, there is nothing I can do. I heard that if Sister Mo pursues it, Chen Hotpot will be 100% bankrupt. I don't know what the situation is now. Chen Go is still quite pleasing to the eye when he is not a scumbag. No, I have been depressed for a month, and you feel sorry for 2 hotpot meals. Bullshit, if I eat hotpot with Sister Mo, I am willing to die." Why does Chen Go have sincerity? After eating at this restaurant, the two found a place to rest, and then walked on the street to go shopping. It was around 3 o'clock when they entered another hotpot restaurant. The name of this hotpot restaurant was also given a close-up, Yuxiang Hotpot. In the observation room, Ling Yanhui was also in the hotpot business. When he came to his field, he immediately smiled and said, "I know this one. We also investigated it at that time. There is a place in Yuzhou that is particularly popular. It was almost one of the most popular urban tourist destinations on the internet in the past few years." Yu Zhongqian continued, "Hanjiadong, right? I remember that when Brother Ye and Su Mo were dating, they talked about this. The hot pot restaurant owned by the owner of Hanjiadong is called Yuxiang. What did you say?" And I said. A burst of laughter. This is not an advertisement. In fact, they are still our competitors, but their family is really delicious. The owner of Hanjiadong is called the Queen of Hot Pot. It can be said that Yuxiang Hot Pot is the representative of Yuzhou. This is local humanities. After the popular science, the cameras switched to the hot pot restaurant. This time, Su Mo and Chen Shen were not as confrontational as in the first two. They sat quietly and discussed ordering dishes. Su Mo said that this was her second time to come to this restaurant and it was very popular. The audience seemed to hear the subtext. Isn't this saying why your Chen hot pot can't be so good? After exchanging a few words, Chen Shen smiled, changed the subject, and looked at the person standing next to him ordering food. "Auntie, how long have you worked in this restaurant?" "A long time, I've been here since it opened, and I'm almost an old woman." "Chen Shen, I've been working for this restaurant for half my life. I admire you. Auntie must know a lot about hot pot, and the boss must be very good to you." "Haha, the boss is really good. The dowry for my daughter was paid by the boss." Chen Shen gave a thumbs up, "It's mutual. You must be the kind of person who works hard. The boss makes money, so he will naturally be good to everyone. Auntie's image is really good," and she smiled very kindly, "You can talk, no wonder your girlfriend is so beautiful." Chen Shen hurriedly laughed and said, "No, Auntie, how can I have this blessing? This is my boss. I can see that you are a great beauty when you are young. Do you have a daughter? How about introducing one to me?" A few words made Auntie laugh. The dead scumbag floated in the barrage again, and some people complained that he was worthy of being a congenital scumbag saint, and he could find this angle. What if there are no conditions? Then create conditions. Even if it is a lady, doesn't she have a daughter? While talking and laughing, Su Mo ordered the dishes and glanced at Chen Shen several times, all with disgust. Chen Shen handed the menu to the lady. "Auntie, what is your surname?" "What's the surname?" "My surname is Zhu, my name is Zhu Fangyu, you can call me if you have anything." "I can tell from outside the area. I am familiar with this whole area." When the lady said this, she glanced at the camera, and her attitude was good. Some people in the barrage said that they had been to this restaurant and had seen this lady. They were always friendly. It's an old restaurant for more than 30 years, and it's delicious. Su Mo said unhappily, it is difficult to show this kind of humanistic sentiment in a short period of time. Chen Shen smiled and said, I didn't think about these. We are not doing yuxiang. I am thinking about another thing. Didn't you say that my father was in contact with Grandma Qin and others? Is there any result? Su Mo, it's not that easy to just contact them. It's a three-party coordination. This is why I brought you to this restaurant, to learn from the authentic Yuzhou hot pot model. Chen Shen, then what are you going to do? Su Mo smiled and said, why ask me? Why don't you ask your father? When it was played, the barrage began to float with question marks again. From the first hot pot, everyone's reassurance is actually reassurance. This game is not a serious dating game, but more like a review game for Party B and Party A to have dinner. After all, Chen Hotpot lost money. After the fermentation of the Love Variety show, there were still hot searches about Chen Hotpot on the internet. The old brand of more than 10 years has indeed come to an end. Chen Go's family hasn't given up yet. I was reading the news about this yesterday. It is said that Chen Hotpot has closed a large number of stores. Ha ha ha, it's really comfortable to read these. Chen Go may not realize that in more than 2 months, that is, now, Chen Hotpot is basically closed. Ah, a little sad. The term poor young master has become a hot search. Those bloggers have been exposed long ago. I remember that more than a month ago, someone said that Chen Hotpot had collectively closed dozens of stores. No way, I have goosebumps. Is the lady just now called Zhu Fangyu? I used to like Chen Hotpot very much. What a pity. No, that's not right. It's really not right. I went to a hot pot restaurant yesterday. The name of the restaurant is Qin Fangyu. It's very popular and there's still a queue. Myrna watched the show and the barrage. She knew that Su Mo went to Yuzhou to work in the catering industry. Chen Shen and her passive dark line were also on the hot search at that time. At that time, Myrna thought that even Su Mo, who had a perfect record, had failed this time. Following the show, you can still see some clues, which is very interesting. However, some of the comments had exclamation marks, and she was a little confused. What happened to the name of the ant just now? Is it special? Why are so many people talking about it? Many people in the comments were indeed talking about the name of the ant. Qin Fangyu's first batch of stores had been open for half a month. After the Love Variety show became popular, especially on Douyin, a lot of people tried to get attention in various ways. The most direct way was to go to Chen Hotpot offline for dinner, make a video with the 2 words Chen Shen in the title, and the data increased. Someone also live broadcasted the whole process of a Chen Hotpot restaurant taking off its signboard, and the people watching the live broadcast sighed at the time. Some people also went to Qin Fangyu for dinner, and then posted a video of them laughing. What were they laughing at? Chen Shen was annoying everyone, so they went to Qin Fangyu for dinner to annoy Chen Shen. Hee, I didn't come when your Chen Hotpot opened, and now it's closed, and it's replaced by another one. I'm eating, what can you do to me? There are also a lot of people playing this joke on Douyin. So, a large group of people are a little sensitive to the name Zhu Fangyu. At first, when the lady introduced herself, she didn't think there was anything wrong, but when Chen Shen and Su Mo talked about how to run a hotpot restaurant, they reacted. A somewhat scary thought came to their minds: could it be that he was reborn from the dead? In the observation room, Ling Yanhui seemed to have reacted, and suddenly slapped his thigh, and then the cameras switched to the observation room. Everyone looked at Ling Yanhui, and Ling Yanhui glared and said, "No way. What's wrong?" Ling Yanhui stretched out his hand, and the camera zoomed in, and he saw goosebumps on his arm. Ling Yanhui: "Oh my god, I have been paying attention to Chen Hotpot for some time. I am also half a hotpot industry person. What I know is that Chen Hotpot seems to have closed down, and then it was taken over by a hotpot called Qin Fangyu. A lot of our friends talked privately and sighed. They really thought that Chen Hotpot would go public, but they didn't expect it to sink in the end. Everyone looked at me and I looked at you, a little confused. Ling Yanhui: that auntie just now, isn't she called Zhu Fangyu? The one Chen Shen called was Grandma Qin, the hotpot queen Qin Wenzi I mentioned earlier. Didn't Su Mo also say that the three parties coordinated? If Zhu Fangyu changed her surname, wouldn't she be called Qin Fangyu? A guest who had followed the hot search of Chen Hotpot answered, "You mean Chen Hotpot didn't go bankrupt? Chen Shen is not a poor young master? They are just a new brand after the three parties coordinated." Ling Yanhui nodded, "Yes, when Qin Fangyu's test store opened last week, many people on Douyin said this, and many people went to take pictures, saying that Chen Shen was a poor young master. I also asked my friends, and they said it was a brand new model, super cheap, and great style. More." The host was still in a daze, and after a long time, he stared and concluded, "You mean Chen Shen dated Sister Mo, and then Chen Hotpot successfully saved itself?" Chen Shen and Su Mo's passive undercurrent blossomed in their careers. Ling Yanhui scratched his head, "I don't know, it seems so, otherwise why did Qin Fangyu take over Chen Hotpot? What a coincidence that I met an aunt named Zhu Fangyu. Sorry, everyone, I may be in this line of work, and I pay a little attention to new brands, because it involves competition, understand? It's a particularly sensitive matter. If this is true, I have goosebumps again. I want to ask, I'm super curious now. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me?" Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 236. Just ask. Ling Yanhui took out his cell phone on the spot and sent a message to his partner. However, the timeline is different. When they recorded this episode, Qin Fangyu had just opened an experimental store, and it was the kind without any publicity. His partners knew less than him. He also asked what happened to Qin Fangyu. Isn't it just an ordinary hotpot restaurant brand? Chen Hotpot also has this style. Ling Yanhui sat back down, "Am I overthinking?" The host laughed and said, "Are we confused? Chen Shen, he was born in a catering family, but he went to art school and went to Yanjing to be a trainee for 2 years. What he is good at is in our circle." Someone retorted, "No, no, no, what he is good at is coaxing girls." The observation room laughed. Yu Zhongqian rolled his eyes at Ling Yanhui, "Brother, you shocked me. That guy Chen Shen is all in the show, coaxing the girls around, and he can also save his own industry. Are you also conquered by him?" The two often competed with each other over the results of the show. Yu Zhongqian's words were a little sarcastic, and the scene was full of laughter. Ling Yanhui was a little embarrassed about what he said and scratched his head. He felt that even if Qin Fangyu had something to do with Chen Hotpot, it was Yuxiang who took action. Took over Chen Hotpot at a very low price, otherwise it would be difficult for Chen Hotpot to get out. From this perspective, Chen Shen should be the glue between Su Mo and the local catering industry, otherwise Sister Mo would not be so casual with him. Ling Yanhui gradually convinced himself in his heart, and rarely refuted Yu Zhongqian. Otherwise, it would be too outrageous. It may be that Chen Shen's superb performance with the female guests caused him to go astray. On the barrage, a wave of rhythm picked up, and it was all said and done. It seemed that Ling Yanhui really had a filter for Chen Shen. The lessons learned from the past are Xiaobai and Fang Ye. Ling Yanhui guessed that Chen Shen and Su Mo reincarnated Chen Hotpot, and Myrna didn't laugh. The show effect brought about by the barrage after the reversal made Myrna extremely happy. If a person in the entertainment industry has a clue, his development will be smooth, especially in the direction of variety shows. What about Chen Shen? It seems like there are jokes all over the body. During this period, anyone who praises Chen Shen on any major platform or media, and the comments below are all succubi's efforts from a distance, and then praise this person's fans, the reaction is particularly great. They are all begging their idols to stop reading. Don't get close to Chen Shen, that guy is too evil. The key is not just female artists, male artists praise Chen Shen, and the comments section also has the same reaction. From Myrna's perspective, whenever you think of a person whose jokes can make you laugh, that value is really great. Looking at the person on the screen, Myrna muttered, "I'm going to make a decision on Chen Shen." The show continues. In the camera, Su Mo didn't torment Chen Shen anymore. Maybe it was because Chen Shen's performance in the first two was not bad. 6 hot pot meals became 4. She said that she would let Chen Shen go if she had one more meal in the evening. Then he took Chen Shen and left. The camera switched to a wide angle, and also to several popular tourist spots in Yuzhou. The sun slowly set, and the huge buildings with different heights were reflected in the sunset, and then the cameras switched to a hotel. The elegant and beautiful Su Mo stood in front of the elevator in professional attire, tapping away on her mobile phone. In this picture, a bunch of people are licking the barrage. When the elevator door opened, she put away her phone. Several people came out. Originally, the barrage was praising Su Mo for how beautiful, stunning, and aura she was, but the exclamation mark slowly started to rise. In the observation room, Ling Yanhui patted her thigh again. The camera switched and Ling Yanhui pointed at the screen and said in surprise, the cave master of Hanja Cave. We visited her specifically when we were making hot pot, and this Uncle Bald, he is Chen Ruxi, Chen Shen's father. Everyone looked at him and stared, what do you mean? However, the program continued to play, and everyone still wore earphones and continued to watch the program. Su Mo smiled faintly, stretched out her hand to invite you. I've eaten a few of your meals, and I'm going to make something today too. On the barrage, exclamation marks began to float on the screen. Holy shit! He's really Chen Go's father. I checked him out and I'm very impressed by this bald man. No, you meet your parents. Is this the cave owner of Hanja Cave? I have been to Hanja Cave 4 times, what is this going to do? Uncle Bald. Can you please control your dog Chen? He's such a scumbag. A line of small words appeared on the screen. 10 minutes later, the elevator opened again, and Chen Shen came out of the elevator breathing heavily. Question marks started floating on the barrage again, what do they mean? Sister Mo is treating me to a treat, and there are other big guys present. Is this your attitude? The door of the box opened, and Chen Shen froze at the door. He was stunned for a long time before walking in. The audience didn't understand it for a moment, and the barrage was filled with question marks and speculation. Ling Yanhui's voiceover sounded, it's a bit complicated. According to my understanding, letting Chen Shen eat hot pot may not be a trap as Su Mo said. At this time, Su Mo has to deal with career matters. Isn't there someone taking advantage of it? He said that Pilot Capital there is a gambling agreement with Chen Hotpot. If Chen Hotpot fails to go public, it will lose money. Chen Shen took Su Mo back home once, maybe just to talk about this matter. Now Su Mo asked Chen Shen to appear on this occasion again, probably also talking about this matter. This should be what Su Mo said. If you cheat on me, I will cheat on you again. Discussion started on the barrage. It has to be Sister Mo, this is normal, okay. Take a good look at the other three scumbags. Chen Go, who has fascinated you all, is just a tool to Sister Mo. Why is there no picture again? You won't show me inside the box? Zhao Chunsheng, you are such a shameless director. If you don't show me, I'll have to imagine it. It must be Sister Mo stepping on Chen Go's head, and then pointing at the big bald man and asking, will you pay for it? Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Chen Go is really going to fall this time and become a hostage. There were also various speculations in the observation room, but the tone was similar. After everyone guessed, Ling Yanhui concluded, it seems that I thought too much. It's probably about paying money. Find a powerful third party to preside over the situation, and then pull Chen Shen to the table without making everyone look ugly. In the end, maybe the cave owner really took over Chen Hotpot. But, the next second, the subtitles gave a 2 hour later. The door of the box opened, and the first person to come out was the big bald Chen Ruxi, but he stood aside. The cave master Qin Wenzi kindly held Chen Shen's hand, smiling and saying something to Chen Shen. Chen Shen lowered his head slightly and listened, smiling all the time. Su Mo followed at the end, also smiling. When she went in, she was yawning and dazed, but when she came out, everyone was so impressed that even the cave master of Hanja Cave seemed to have become a grandmother. There was a sound of something falling to the ground in the observation room. The question marks on the barrage were like a storm. What the hell is this? Brother, it's only 2 hours, 2 hours, what the hell did you do, Chen Go? Sister Mo, what are you laughing at? I'm scared. No, is he that strong? He's the smallest Karami on the field, and he's the center of attention. Master, you're the developer of the most popular check-in place in Yuzhou, and you're the big boss of Yuxiang, why are you so nice to him? I'm confused, isn't Uncle Bald the father of Chen Go? How did he become a guest? Okay, the biggest unsolved mystery of Love Lesson has changed from Sister Mo's carriage to Sister Mo's box. Not to mention the explosion of barrages, the observation room was doubting life, they were all yelling for the director to replay, they must have missed something, or the program team fast-forwarded. Sitting in the study, Myrna's fair neck stretched unconsciously, and her face was a bit dull. She was sure and certain that she didn't miss any scenes. Why was the change so big? Su Mo invited Chen Shen to meet her and took the lead throughout the whole process. She did not put any pressure on him at all. Chen Shen ate by himself and was tortured. Myrna thought it was normal. After all, Su Mo had a different status and was an investor in Chen Hotpot. But after just one meal, she became the host. Qin Wenzi was very famous. Myrna knew this person from as far away as Pengcheng. Yuzhou Hotpot was famous all over the world, and Qin Wenzi was one of the most important representatives. According to the rules on the table, it was indeed as Ling Yanhui said, to find a powerful third party to preside over the overall situation for both parties. But the result after the meal was that the most important investor and Chen Hotpot became supporting roles, one led the way and pressed the elevator, and the other followed behind to see off the guests. The host chatted with the person who should not be there very happily. Is it really a succubus? Is she doing magic? Myrna muttered unconsciously. Chen Shen and Qin Wenzi did not have any radio equipment on them. Although they were seen chatting all the way, no one knew what they were talking about. In the parking lot, Chen Shen and Su Mo stood together. First, they sent Qin Wenzi and others away, then sent his father away, and finally he smiled at Su Mo and got into the car. The barrage was full of question marks, as if they were watching a ghost story. In the car, Su Mo did not start the car immediately, and both Chen Shen and he leaned on the car seat. The lights in the parking lot could only illuminate part of their bodies. Su Mo suddenly looked at Chen Shen and smiled, "I didn't expect that we have such a tacit understanding." But Chen Shen looked out the window, "Maybe." Su Mo did not look away from Chen Shen, or, "Don't go to the entertainment industry." Chen Shen turned around and looked at Su Mo under the camera, his eyes had a clear arc, and he smiled, "If I don't go to the entertainment industry, will my father support me?" The cameras switched to the observation room, and everyone was either standing and watching, or holding their heads with their hands and staring at this section. For this scene, no one in the barrage laughed, because the audience's reaction was the same as theirs. Why? Why? The host took off his headphones and looked at Jinan. It seemed that only an emotional expert could explain it. Jinan frowned, "Don't look at me, I'm confused, really. Before the fourth hot pot, everything was the direction I thought, but after a meal, it seemed to change. I can't understand it. You said it was a script, but it's impossible." Su Mo from Pengcheng, one of the best female investors under leading capital, a representative of the hot pot industry, and Qin Wenzi, a representative of Yuzhou tourism, why would she act with Chen Shen? Jinan smiled bitterly after saying this, "I really can't find the angle. Magic, it must be magic, do you believe it?" The most outrageous thing about this matter is that before this, Su Mo and Chen Shen got along very normally, and Su Mo even embarrassed Chen Shen, but in the car at night, you can vaguely taste some ambiguity. You are Su Mo, you know that you hinted that Chen Shen is loyal, pure, and kind, but what the hell are you asking him not to go to the entertainment industry? What's the matter, have you started to interfere with other people's future? The observation room was confused, and the barrage was also confused, and the show continued. Hearing Chen Shen's answer, Su Mo withdrew her gaze. You could tell what she was thinking about. After a while, she looked at Chen Shen again, "Are there any high-quality assets in the current entertainment industry?" Chen Shen stared, "What do you want to do?" Su Mo said with a normal look, "The theater chain? Or a specific film and television project? Why are you nervous? After the hot pot is launched, there will be no results in a short time. As a qualified investor, I will look for it in advance. The next project, isn't it normal?" Chen Shen was silent for a while and then said, "Are you so optimistic about Qin Fangyu, whom we have discussed temporarily?" When Chen Shen said these words, the confusion on the barrage was gradually covered by a large number of exclamation points. In the observation room, Ling Yanhui stared at first, then slapped his thigh with a slap, pointed at the big screen in front of him and said, look, let me tell you, that Zhu Fangyu is not a coincidence." The camera switches to the observation room. Ling Yanhui was so excited that he didn't even take off his earphones. He already stood up and said a few words about Hum Yu, but was silenced by the program team and turned into a beeping machine. Ling Yanhui, "Awesome, that's awesome. It's Qin Fangyu. He really saved the family business while recording a love show. The cave owner didn't take over Chen Hotpot. They are cooperating. It must be a three-way cooperation. This guy is the best being good at dealing with people, he must have convinced the cave owner, and then worked with the cave owner and Su Mo to create a brand new Hotpot brand." The more Ling Yanhui talked, the more excited he became, because he was very close to the answer before, and he was confused by asking too much information. Now he himself is the first person to say this, and no one else has gotten it yet. This is a variety show, or a love variety show. That guy Chen Shen actually came up with a brand with a new concept of hot pot while recording this kind of show? Ling Yanhui, only in this way can Chen Hotpot be saved. Because the cave master has died, the capital chain will not be broken, and there is no need to pay the pilot's money. That's why Chen Ruxi retreated to the second line. This was caused by his son. If you don't, I have to retreat even if I don't want to, that's for sure. This long paragraph contains too much information. Not to mention the barrage, it took the observation room a long time to react. The host answered, so, after Sister Mo witnessed this incident, her attitude changed so much. The host was worthy of being a host. He found the key point immediately, and then there was a sigh. Everyone in the observation room sighed inexplicably. If that was the case, why wouldn't Chen Shen attract those girls? For some reason, everyone looked at Ling Yanhui, who was still excited. At this moment, they not only understood that Chen Shen had attracted those female guests, but also why Chen Shen was able to attract Xiaobai and Brother Ye. There was a living example at the scene. Ling Yanhui seemed to be attracted too, and he was still acting awesome. After Yu Zhongqian sighed, he glanced at the paused big screen in front of him, and then said angrily to Ling Yanhui, "Why are you so awesome? With the combined efforts of 3 parties, how can we be your competitors at this scale?" Ling Yanhui laughed, No, I'm a little excited. Hey, I wish I had known this guy earlier. Wasn't he a trainee at Black Gold a few years ago? I'll go, if I had known him at that time, then bring it to me. Good guy, I don't dare to think about it. Qin Fangyu and my partner have studied it. Judging from the photos and videos on the internet, there are many things that can be learned. It is indeed a new concept. Such talents can make. I'll help you unpack it. Speaking of this, the host coughed twice. Ling Yanhui came back to his senses, shut up immediately, and then looked at the program team. Director, I'm so excited. You won't cut this part too, right? When the camera was shown to the director, Zhao Chunsheng smiled and shook his head, waving his hands and saying no. You believe what Zhao Chunsheng said? Young, didn't you just make fun of Black Gold Entertainment? What are you afraid of? Oh, stop talking. If you keep talking, I will start to like Chen Go. He is too strong. I told you before that Qin Fangyu was created by Chen Go. If you still don't believe it, do you still remember the night market he and Yuan visited? Chen Go, that bitch, moved the night market stuff into Qin Fangyu's hot pot. It's really popular, you can find out if you search it, there seems to be a queue at every store. I ate Qin Fangyu just to discuss Chen Go. Now you tell me that Qin Fangyu is his? I even posted it on Moments. Brother Joe, come out and save me. I'm so innocent. Yes, I don't want to be a clown. I just came back from Duyan. Damn, it's already popular. It doesn't require our attention at all. Qin Fangyu became popular. There was indeed a queue. Many people even used Duyan to laugh at Chen Go, saying that I won't eat your Chen hot pot, but I insist on eating it. Qin Fangyu took over Chen hot pot. Ha ha ha, fortunately I'm not from Sichuan and Chongqing, so it didn't affect me. Good guy, I'm really awesome. There's a reason why Chen Go can be a scumbag. In the study, Myrna put down her phone. She had just come back from Duyan, and for just a moment, her mood was like a roller coaster. At first, I was a little gloating. I felt that Su Mo had stumbled when she went to Yuzhou and stretched her hands too far. When investing in China, it is not necessarily money that is invested, but people. Only reliable talents are worth investing in. After fighting 2 good battles in Pengcheng, you reach out thousands of miles away. You suffered a setback in your career. Although quitting the show has magnified your reputation, your image has also been somewhat damaged. You can't avoid the side effects, right? But, it reversed again. In the show, Chen Shen asked what he thought of Qin Fangyu, who we discussed temporarily. Myrna thought that even if she could be saved, she would not be saved, right? But after listening to the analysis of the observation room and watching the barrage, Myrna went to Douyin to search. There are at least hundreds of videos about Qin Fangyu. Many people took advantage of the traffic and said that Chen Hotpot was hit by this brand. They also boasted that they went to eat a meal to discuss the scumbag. It was delicious and recommended it with vomiting blood. It was no wonder that Chen Hotpot was hit. It was too interesting. He also said that it was the most delicious and cheapest hotpot he had ever eaten, and it would definitely be popular. Originally, I went there to discuss Chen Shen, but I was attracted by it and said that I would recognize this restaurant in the future. Okay, you can recommend it with vomiting blood. Chen Shen doesn't even remember you. Are you disgusting him? Myrna felt that she was rarely surprised by one thing, but Chen Shen did it. With the results in front of her, Myrna looked at Su Mo, who had just been switched to the car on the screen. Wasn't this girl a little too lucky? Investing is indeed not just about investing money, but she really invested in the right person. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 237. The show continues in the car. Su Mo began to answer Chen Shen's question. You have clearly understood the model and the directions that each of them is responsible for. Don't talk about the three parties in this matter. For Yuzhou, it is also a good thing if it can be listed. There is a high probability that it's going very smoothly. Chen Shen nodded and began to answer Su Mo's previous question. Theatrical chains are not like before. They are no longer high-quality assets. If there is high-quality content, specific projects will at least bear fruit quickly. Under the camera, Su Mo's expression was quite indifferent, but there was a hint of smile. That's why I asked you to see if there are high-quality assets in the entertainment industry you yearn for, and to see if you are the material. You can go, but if you hit a wall, come with me to Pengcheng. Chen Shen, going to Pengcheng. Su Mo nodded. I will definitely not leave Yuzhou in a short time. After all, Qin Fangyu has a lot of things that I need to do. This is a long-term job. Before I leave Yuzhou, if you are willing to follow me to Pengcheng, this promise is valid. I don't think your value is in the entertainment industry. In view of this, I am willing to throw away a sum of money and find a project for you to try and make mistakes. If you make money, you and I will be happy. If you don't make money, then you will follow me wholeheartedly. Pengcheng makes investments. There were gasps from the observation room. They thought that something that could create a little ambiguity between Su Mo and Chen Shen was already outrageous, but in the end there was something even more outrageous. Brother Chen, please take away your magical powers. Please, I can't stand it anymore. Seriously, I'm lying to you. Sister Mo, wake up. He is a scumbag. You asked him to be exclusive this morning. Why are you just paying for it now? The male succubus is so scary. Sister Mo, don't let him go into the entertainment industry. I feel like all the female idols I like will suffer. Just pamper him, be careful if you fall into it, all the money will be his. Beast, I'm tired of scolding you. I only have 2 words now. I'm so envious. Isn't this what the entertainment industry calls financial backers? Okay, let's not talk about the money loss. We still have to work hard to help Chen Hotpot turn around. Now we have to pay Chen Shen to go to the entertainment industry. Why are you so strong? He's not as good as those 3. You just marry him, my parents will meet me anyway, my mother doesn't treat me that well. There was a cry on the barrage. Logically speaking, Chen Shen did take advantage of this matter. However, Myrna frowned. She was very optimistic about Chen Shen now and decided to get him. Chen Shen and Huan Yu were in great conflict. This was Penguin's opportunity. She robbed Xia King Ai and created a lot of value. Yuan couldn't do anything with her. How difficult was it to get Chen Shen from Huan Yu? However, Su Mo seemed to have noticed something extraordinary about Chen Shen when he was recording the show. As an investor, you can't feel comfortable investing in projects. Why are you keeping an eye on people? He is indeed the best of this generation of the Su family, and his sense of smell is quite powerful. However, Myrna then smiled faintly. One good thing about variety show directors like Zhao Chunsheng is that he dares to cut anything in. Although this section added endless visibility and made everyone look for off-site information, it also caused a little trouble for Su Mo. For example, with the current barrage, many people are being angry. That's it? People in the financial circle, didn't you clamor when Chen Go stuck out his tongue? Come on, your goddess wants to be Chen Go's sponsor, are you angry? Ha ha ha, it made me laugh so hard. I said it's impossible for Chen Go to be such a bad guy. Even Xia King I dared to confront the show crew. How can he let Sister Mo take away the rhythm? I think Chen Go is. Deliberately, I let Sister Mo vent her anger to coax her. But that's it? Sister Mo is very strong and beautiful, but she is a woman after all. Chen Go is invincible to women. Looking at it now, it really feels like no one can do it. Mayday, Huan Yu has really found a treasure. No wonder the stock market has soared. Wait, I will buy when the market opens next week. Chen Go, just go to the entertainment industry and make some money with your brothers. I will definitely not scold you. Myrna looked at the barrage and then took her mobile phone over. Love Lesson is really popular. Not to mention the audience who like to watch variety shows, the circle around Myrna is watching it. Of course, they are all attracted to the people inside. In their circle, as long as they are willing to check and inquire, everyone's background is clear. In the first issue, someone figured out Su Mian's family background. The semiconductor industry has been very popular in recent years. The Su family is engaged in semiconductors and is a key enterprise for the future development of Yuzhou. At the beginning, what they discussed the most was whether Chen Shen wanted 1 million more. They could just take over Su Mian. Even if Chen Hotpot went bankrupt, they would still be able to do well. Things did develop like this. Su Mian was getting better and better towards Chen Shen. However, Chen Shen went further than they thought and was completely flirting. Myrna clicked on a group where they were chatting about romance. I asked clearly. Qin Fangyu was indeed led by Su Mo in Yuzhou. 30 stores have been opened. The catering industry is paying attention to this brand. In other words, this issue has not been broadcast yet and there are no advertisements. Effect, Qin Fangyu's data is already at the top level. So, she went to Yuzhou to do catering and succeeded again. It can be said that when I saw the content of Lian Zhong's performance, it was difficult for Qin Fangyu's brand to be popular. I underestimated Chen Shen. I thought he would only tease women. So what? She is indeed a scumbag. Su Mo is also confused. She dares to get close to such a person. She doesn't even know how to set up a basic firewall. She is still at the stage where if someone treats her well, she will return it double. Hasn't she always been so maverick? Sooner or later, she will be harvested by scumbags. She is also naive. Even Chen Shen's debut in Yanjing is a problem. Although he has accumulated a lot of love, what projects can he do? What can he not do? Are they all scumbags? Besides, even if Chen Shen gets a foothold in the entertainment industry due to his popularity, how much money can he make? Why are you talking about this? I won't tell you if you want to learn from me. One thing I have to admit is that Su Mo is indeed very talented in business, but there is a prerequisite. You can't meet a bad man, right? Staying with someone like Chen Shen is actually a waste of her own talent. Ha ha ha, the Su family probably has a little headache. Myrna disagreed with the attitude in the group, but the angle made sense. What Chen Shen has shown is a desperate talent for getting along with girls. This talent is very powerful in real life, but can he really do well in the entertainment industry? Myrna wanted to grab Chen Shen because she felt that the popularity of the love variety show was too great. In addition, Chen Shen still had a lot to explore. She would immediately start a new variety show after getting it. For example, she would gather a group of beautiful sisters from the entertainment industry and let Chen Shen be the leader. A tour guide took them on a trip. Myrna feels that she will be able to perfectly capture the popularity of love dramas right away. This year there will be Love Lesson and she has no rivals. Her neighbors are so envious that they even go to Zhao Chunsheng to get Chen Shen over. If you plan to take your sisters on a trip next year, then you won't have any rivals. Myrna feels that this is Chen Shen's greatest value. Instead of having to fight Chen Shen like Su Mo, why should he fight with a scumbag? Why, people like us can still crave the little emotional value provided by a scumbag. Really promising. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 238. Myrna turned her eyes back to the computer screen. There were many comments. Even in the simplified mode, there were still many comments. Many people sighed in the comments because of Su Mo's great recognition of Chen Shen and the little bit of ambiguity. It was outrageous, but this man was Chen Shen. After a month of baptism, they felt that it was normal again. They all thought that Chen Shen had no tricks and could not get any good from Su Mo. As a result, he still developed in a dangerous direction. Many viewers went to Douyin. They were unhappy and questioned. As a result, they saw hundreds of videos about Qin Fangyu on Douyin. The seats were full and they were all queuing. The dishes were dazzling. The key was that the accompanying commentary was all mocking Chen Shen. They said that Chen Hotpot deserved to go bankrupt. Qin Fangyu was queuing. Are you angry? Then, this circle of viewers who went to Douyin to search were healed. It turned out that I was not a clown. The clown was someone else. Sister Mo was interested in Chen Shen, so she was interested. He was Chen Go. Didn't Xia King I resist? So, the comments of "you are awesome" that were typed out with gritted teeth began to float on the screen. Myrna smiled. She felt that it was no wonder that Zhao Chunsheng wanted to single out Chen Shen and Su Mo's date, because before that, Chen Shen's scumbag relied on routines, coincidences, and deception, which was also the reason why Huanyu didn't even dare to open the comment section. In the past week, not to mention Huanyu, all the artists under Huanyu were warned inexplicably. A large number of viewers ran to their comment section to ask them to stay away from Chen Shen. However, the wind direction of this episode was slowly changing. Many people on the barrage also cursed the financial circle. After the last episode, the financial circle was very active in the media. There were not many people who really mocked Su Mo, saying Su Mo was also a kind of yin and yang feeling. Because Chen Shen's scumbag in this episode was put into practice. Su Mo's investment was saved by Chen Go in 2 hours. Although I don't know what happened in the box, the audience saw everyone's attitude, and Chen Shen was undoubtedly the center point. This is the core reason why Su Mo agreed with Chen Shen. The camera switched to the villa, and the comments immediately started to laugh in unison. Because Xia King I, Su Yuan, and Su Mian were all sitting on the sofa, and they would look at the door from time to time. Myrna was also happy. She didn't really understand the so-called innate scumbag holy body, but she had her own understanding. Chen Shen was a scumbag, and God didn't let him off. The funniest thing in the last episode was that Chen Shen guided Mian to be good friends, but the 3 words good friends became a kind of code for the two to get closer. He also wanted to confess to Su Yuan, and then Su Yuan misunderstood and took the initiative to kiss him. Facing Xia King Ai, Chen Shen might be really scared. It was originally a lot of trouble, and then Xia King Ai came up. Myrna thought that the kiss was actually okay. At that time, Xia King Ai might have had some intention of deliberately fishing to take down Chen Shen. But Chen Shen's handling was too much, which confused Xia King Ai, and the look in his eyes when he looked at Chen Shen was threaded. As for Su Mo, no matter how she thought about it, it seemed impossible for her to participate. As a result, Chen Shen solved Su Mo's career troubles, and it seemed to be a little interesting. In other words, the 4 female guests, at this moment, more or less have a certain good impression of Chen Shen. It's amazing, the innate scumbag has achieved the holy body, but can you finish it? I laughed to death. I thought the program team would intervene and solve it in the later stage, and then it would end in a bloody way, but I didn't expect that now is the main course. Shurofield, a serious Shurofield, damn, the love variety show has only been recorded for most of the time, and the 4 female guests have opened the progress bar. You are really a scumbag, and you are really awesome. Can this go to the entertainment industry? I dare not even think about it. Is Yang Ching Ching happy? My Ching Ching. Damn scumbag, you are awesome. Under the camera, Chen Shen and Su Mo pushed open the door of the villa and appeared in the living room. They were greeted by a bunch of scrutiny. Chen Shen was obviously stunned for a moment, then immediately walked forward. "Si done hot pot, I feel like my breath is full of hot pot now. Yuan, you like spicy food, in my case, it should be okay to go to the toilet." Su Yuan was the first to laugh. "Sister Mo is so cruel, it's okay, unless you have hemorrhoids." Su Mo looked at Chen Shen with a bit of danger in her eyes, and the barrage was full of laughter. This kind of occasion is not so good for the parties involved, but it looks very good from a god's perspective. From Su Mo's perspective, what does it mean? How good was the chat in the car before, and I was about to pay you for the project, but I pushed myself away as soon as I came back. From Su Yuan's perspective, I felt comfortable, but I complained to myself about Sister Mo as soon as I came back. Is the experience not full? Su Mo, a Yuzhou person can't eat spicy food at all. Su Mo's tone was a bit stiff, but the audience understood that anyone would be a little unhappy in this situation, right? Then, Xia King Ai immediately replied, "I don't eat spicy food that well, many people in Yuzhou don't eat spicy food that well." In the camera, Su Yuan clearly glanced at Xia King Ai. Su Mo ignored Su Yuan and Xia King Ai, and looked at Su Mian. Mian, stop playing, come upstairs with me." Su Mian was obviously a little reluctant. "I haven't finished the game yet." Su Mo, go upstairs and play. Su Mian, okay then. Su Mian stood up, followed Su Mo with the computer in his arms. Su Mo looked at Chen Shen, and Chen Shen smiled apologetically. Su Mian and Su Mo walked to the stairs. Su Mian looked back, and then whispered to Su Mo, "Sister Mo, you. If there are many people in the future, don't talk about him." Su Mo paused, looked back at Su Mian, then sighed, stretched out her hand and rubbed Su Mian's face. "White-eyed wolf." Barrage explosion. Beast, I tried to bring Mian's perspective, but it was too confusing. She herself thought Chen Shen was special, and Chen Shen told her that she was not here to fall in love. In other words, she might feel that she was in Chen Shen's arms. There is also the most special person. Why did Sister Mo call Mian away? It's over, it's over. Mian already has a filter for Chen Go. She doesn't seem to care that Chen Go plays with other girls. Brother Kanye and Xiaobai are dumbfounded. Ha ha ha. The observation room was also talking about this topic. They were also looking forward to what Chen Shen would do when he came back to see the scene. However, Chen Shen only hesitated for a second and immediately abandoned Sister Mo and directly named Su Yuan. The host looked disgusted. It's too much. Facts have proved that every female guest cared about Chen Shen after dating her. Otherwise, she would not have been able to sit there and wait. Fortunately, Xiaoqing Ai said that there was no camera pressure. Chen Shen is at the same latitude, but Yuan and Mian are different. They sit there and wait, which is actually showing their vulnerability to Chen Shen. We are all people who produce programs, and we cannot ignore the camera. Proving that in their eyes, the subjective meaning of this move is greater than the passive meaning. Yu Zhongqian frowned. I understand what you said, but what I don't understand is why Sister Mo called Mian away. From the look on her face, she is also concerned about Chen Shen's behavior of betraying her. Jinan had been deep in thought. After hearing Yu Zhongqian ask this question, he said, "Do you want to hear science fiction stories?" Everyone looked at Jinan. Jinan leaned forward. I have suffered many losses in analyzing Chen Shen. I always thought that Chen Shen could not make any progress with Sister Mo. Then, I was slapped in the face, so, I now try to understand him and analyze him from an exaggerated perspective. Everyone nodded repeatedly. Looking down the road, almost everyone in their group had been slapped in the face. Jinan, the moment Chen Shen entered the room, he hesitated for a second, and then immediately started talking to Su Yuan. Why? Because he felt that Yuan cared about such emotional value the most. Think about it, why wasn't Mian the first one to speak? With King Ai? Because Mian thinks that the development between her and Chen Shen is the most correct development. Chen Shen said that if she doesn't fall in love, then she should be good friends, right? So Mian doesn't need such emotional value. Jinan, as for King Ai, they still have the identity of competitors. When Chen Shen complained about Sister Mo for the first time, he was already safe with Xiaoqing Ai, so he chose to follow him immediately. Yuan's words are not chosen casually. Everyone in the observation room was frowning, and the bullet screens were all about me. The various breakthroughs that Chen Shen has made are so outrageous. If you analyze them casually, they all seem to be right, and then you will see that they are all shocked. Jinan, besides, why Sister Mo took Mian away? This also has something to do with Chen Shen's words. Do you still remember Sister Mo's expression when Chen Shen said the first sentence to Yuan? She was very speechless. It feels like Sister Mo is very smart, and Chen Shen is betting that Sister Mo will understand his intentions. When I go home, I have to deal with those people. Please cooperate with me, which is equivalent to this. Jinan, because when we were in the car, Sister Mo asked Chen Shen if he could stop going to the entertainment industry. It means that Sister Mo knew that Chen Shen had a job attribute in the show. The more outrageous Chen Shen said to Sister Mo, the more uncertain it is, the more understood it will be. Seeing everyone frowning, Jinan explained, it's equivalent to Chen Shen betting on the tacit understanding between himself and Su Mo. If Sister Mo understands, it means that he and Sister Mo are on the same level alone. I know that understanding you like this seems a bit, it's ridiculous, but before I dated Sister Mo, I thought it was impossible for Sister Mo to be ambiguous with Chen Shen. Wouldn't that still be a slap in the face? Jinan, the most important thing is the consequential theory. I also pushed it backwards. Otherwise, you can't explain why she took Mian away. This move actually helped Chen Shen. You can understand this. It's equivalent to Chen Shen only faced Qingyi and said, why did Sister Mo help Chen Shen? The two of them looked at each other just now. If you don't believe me, ask the director to go back and watch. Jinan, it means that Chen Shen already knows Sister Mo. His actions are actually showing weakness to Sister Mo. Sister Mo is helping him in another dimension, which is also a kind of response. The tacit understanding between the two is from a career perspective. Feedback to life. Everyone looked at me and I looked at you, and then gave Jinan a thumbs up. The host sighed, "You should earn this money, let me do it. I can't even think of all these things. I seem to understand, but I don't seem to understand, but I don't know." The comments on the barrage were all about me, and they seemed to understand. They were all praising Jinan, saying that the expert was worthy of being an expert. The show continued, and after Xiaoqing Ai and Su Yuan were the only ones left in the living room, Chen Shen sat down next to Su Yuan. The audience watched with interest. From the perspective of God, this point is very important. It is the first point that Chen Shen faces everyone after dating the 4 female guests. From the perspective of the female guests, it is indeed very important. After the date, first feedback. So they didn't give in, but Sister Mo helped Chen Shen out. Some people were wailing on the barrage, saying that they were too disappointed with Su Mo. Everyone's kindness to Chen Shen had some of their own attributes. Sister Mo and Chen Shen, after a bit of ambiguity, she was really helpful, more powerful than anyone else. Chen Shen looked at Su Yuan and whispered, "Yuan, how about you go up first and I have a few words with King Ai first." The barrage was full of question marks, but Su Yuan was just stunned, and then immediately smiled and nodded, "Okay." After saying that, he stood up and walked towards the stairs. On the barrage, the question mark immediately changed to "what the hum?" Jinan's voiceover sounded, "Don't you understand? It's okay if you don't understand, so we can't be scumbags. We can never understand these things because you haven't experienced them, so you don't understand and even think it's unreasonable, but for Chen Shen, it is as simple as drinking water. It is best not for us to understand these things." After Su Yuan went upstairs, Chen Shen invited Xiaoqing Ai to go out for a walk together. Just as Jinan said, it was obviously the most important point after 4 dates. The 4 female guests all had a crush on him. Whoever faced this situation would be as big as an ox. But that guy Chen Shen just solved it step by step, and now only Xiaoqing Ai is left. On the glass plank road, the evening breeze blew slowly, and the light was not very good, but the shapes and silhouettes of the 2 people were very beautiful. Although the light was not good, when the wind blew, the atmosphere was full. "Xiaoqing Ai, why don't you speak?" Chen Shen looked into the distance, "I'm wondering whether to tell the truth or to tell people lies." Xiaoqing Ai's tone was a little stiff, "Is this what I understand?" Chen Shen smiled and said, "You didn't even ask, how do you know what it means?" Xiaoqing thought for a while, "Then you say coaxing words first." Chen Shen, "I want you to be well." Xiaoqing Ai, "Why? There are obviously better choices. Is it because I am not sincere enough? Or do you not feel it? Do I still have room to win here? Even in your position, you go with me, isn't that the most correct choice?" Chen Shen looked at Xiaoqing Ai, and Xiaoqing Ai turned away from Chen Shen. The audience was stunned for a moment before they understood Xiaoqing Ai's words. The people in the observation room must also understand, but they just sighed without explaining. When Xiaoqing heard that Chen Shen was not lying, she turned to look for Chen Shen and kissed Chen Shen. From Xiaoqing Ai's point of view at that time, she paid the price, but Chen Shen turned around and kissed Chen Shen. No response. Chen Shen interrupted, "You want to scold me before I hear the truth?" Xiaoqing looked over and said, "The lie is that I don't want to, but the truth isn't that I don't want to." Chen Shen laughed. Xiaoqing Ai, "You tell me." Chen Shen, "Don't you want to hear it?" Xiaoqing Ai, "Speak quickly, I'm so anxious that I want to bite someone." Chen Shen sighed, "I will let you be well." In just a few words, the size in the observation room immediately turned into gnashing of teeth. The host's voiceover complained, "So what's the difference?" Jinan continued, "The difference is that the mood fluctuates, first suppressing and then rising. The 2 sentences are actually only 1 word different, but the mood has already fluctuated violently. Under the camera, Xiaoqing stared at Chen Shen for a long time. She seemed to not understand, think about it one by one, the difference. Before she finished her sentence, she started laughing. "You're kidding me, right?" Chen Shen reached out and touched his cheek and said, "You are the first to kiss my face in this life." Xiaoqing's smile faded and she looked away. "Why are you talking about this?" Chen Shen smiled and said, "If you really become a fan of yours, then you have to act like a fan. I don't care if Yuan media is good or not, you must be good." There was a smile on Xiaoqing Ai's face again. "You've started talking coaxing words again, haven't you?" Chen Shen just laughed. Xiaoqing came over and bumped into Chen Shen, and Chen Shen returned the gesture. Xiaoqing Ai could only reach out and push Chen Shen. Wait, translate for me, what are you going to do?" "I took the move you gave me, and I took the move I gave you, and then if you don't answer, don't try to fool me. The barrage is full of yes, yes, yes." "Chen Shen, didn't I make it clear?" "Xiaoqing Ai, have you made it clear?" "Chen Shen, I thought you understood." "Xiaoqing Ai, labor and capital Shu Daoshan." Chen Shen laughed for a while, and then said seriously, "What I originally thought was that after I come back today, I will keep a distance from you. Whether you want me to be the big boss, or win from another angle, I won't participate or stop you, because I think this choice is better than the one you gave me. As for the kiss you gave me, I will go to the director and ask him to cut it out." Xiaoqing thought for a while. "What now?" Chen Shen stretched out. "Now? Didn't I say that I'm really a fan of yours? I'll just figure it out. That sentence is not a joke, I will make sure you are well." Under the night, Xiaoqing Ai seemed to be still thinking, and seemed to believe Chen Shen's words. The camera zooms out, and the night wind blows. "No, Xiaoqing Ai, do you believe this?" He tried his best to think of ways to do it. "You scumbag, you are like this. You can't even part with 1 million. Beast, what the hell, do you really want to hold hands with Su Yuan? And then give up 1 million to Qing Yi? Do you think we are stupid or are you pretending to be stupid? Qing Yi's attitude towards you has changed. Are you telling her to be nice? You don't have to worry about having too many debts, right? No matter what happens, just take care of yourself first and then talk about it. Mad, don't mess around. I didn't hate you so much just now." Many people scolded Chen Shen in this barrage, saying that Chen Shen was a pure scumbag. They understood that what Xiaoqing Ai said was a signal released by Chen Shen first, and then Xiaoqing Ai stopped looking for Fang and came to find you. "But what about you?" Jinan sighed, "I really have no perspective. It's really time for Chen Shen to stop. The only right thing to do at this time is to follow Xiaoqing and be kind to Xiaoqing, and let others adapt slowly. You also have enough. The reason is that I have a crush on Xiaoqing Ai after dating." Others followed suit. From the perspective of the show, no matter how they looked at it, Chen Shen should restrain himself. This is not life, this is a show, and the show has an ending. Xiaoqing Ai gave Chen Shen the only correct way to go. The barrage was full of sighs, but Chen Shen had to go. The host lamented, "It's too late to stop now. He wanted to stop when we were dating, but it didn't work." From his perspective, he really couldn't stop. He said to find a way. From a god's perspective, there's nothing they can do. If it doesn't end, the crowd of us will be a fatal pressure for them. Ling Yanhui waved his hand and said, "You're in trouble, Teacher Jinan, you are back to the original you. Since the program team has let it go like this, what if the guy really comes up with a solution? Otherwise, why would you let this part go?" Everyone stared, and it seemed to make sense. Yu Zhongqian said angrily, "You also have a filter. Ever since you found out that Chen Shen created a hot pot brand, you have a filter for him." Everyone laughed. When the cameras switched to the show again, Chen Shen was already in the bedroom. I saw him sitting in front of the computer, typing away, and there was a tablet next to him. He didn't know what he was busy with. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 239. Under the camera, Fang Ye was lying on the bed. He wanted to talk several times but could not find a suitable opportunity. He kept waiting and waiting. When Chen Shen stretched, Fang Ye said, deeply. Chen Shen looked over. Fang Ye, I think it's a bit strange. You must be doing more than just marketing. If nothing else, Sister Mo's co-pilot is not someone she would be willing to let sit in, let alone take the initiative to help you out. Chen Shen, you really want to know? Fang also nodded. Actually, I should have thought of it a long time ago, maybe subconsciously I have also realized it, but I have been embarrassed to ask you. Chen Shen looked at Fang Ye and said after a long silence, do you still remember which hotpot restaurant Sister Mo invested in? Fang Ye, Chen Hotpot. Chen Shen, what's my last name? Under the camera, Fang was obviously confused, and then he started to stare, and finally even jumped out of bed. You mean? Chen Shen nodded. Fang Ye, I'll go. Real or fake? Chen Shen watched Fang Ye walking around and waited for him to fully accept it before saying, I didn't mean to lie. No one wanted to introduce his family background, right? I didn't expect this to happen. Fang Ye, does Sister Mo know? Chen Shen, I know now. Fang was still a little excited, and after walking around for a few more times, he said, what do you mean? I thought it was unusual for Sister Mo to treat you like this. I thought it was because there was a huge gap between you and me. Turns out there is still this level. Question marks floated on the barrage. No, shouldn't you ask Chen Shen why he hid it from you? Why did you comfort yourself instead? Chen Shen, brother Ye, only you and Sister Mo know about this matter now. Fang Ye chuckled, don't worry, I won't say nonsense. It's okay. If there is such a thing, you should have told me earlier and you still want to see me outside, right? Chen Shen shook his head, that's not what I meant, and Yuan doesn't know. Fang was stunned for a moment, and then walked to Chen Shen even more excitedly, are you saying that Yuan thought you were an office clerk doing small noodle promotion? Chen Shen glared, you dislike me. Fang Ye laughed, no, how is that possible? Am I that kind of person? But it's very interesting. Isn't this an idle drama? Chen Shen sighed, where is the idle drama? It's not like you don't know about my family's involvement with Sister Mo. I have to balance a lot of things. Fang Ye didn't understand at first, but after pondering for a while, he immediately said, I understand, don't worry, I'll explain it to you, and I'll find a chance to help you explain it to Yuan. This kind of thing needs to be explained from an objective perspective. Chen Shen nodded, that's what I mean. The audience actually didn't quite understand this section. The content was that Chen Shen confessed to Fang Ye, but why did Su Yuan get involved? Didn't you lie to her and coax her? What else to explain? However, the show was foreshadowed. Chen Shen told Xiaoqing Ai earlier that he would come up with a solution. This means that Chen Shen not only wants to take care of the ending of his own business, but also takes care of Xiaoqing Ai's affairs in the show. To sum it up, even if you don't understand it, you still have a feeling of being unclear. Myrna has been following the show. After the date, logically speaking, the content that follows is not as interesting as the date, but the more Myrna watches, the more interesting it becomes. Why? Because Chen Shen's performance is getting worse and worse. Can Chen Shen find a way to end it? Myrna finds it very difficult, and even if it is forced, it will definitely hurt people, and it is impossible not to hurt people. The audience didn't understand, but Myrna did. If Chen Shen really listened to Xiaoqing Ai, only contacted Xiaoqing II and then left hand in hand, then the balance Chen Shen maintained would collapse. Su Yuan is 100% broken, Su Mian may not be able to face Chen Shen and only treat Xiaoqing II well, and the same is true for Su Mo. Therefore, Chen Shen could only bite the bullet and take over the matter. It was impossible for him to leave hand in hand with Xiaoqing II. This is what Myrna finds more and more interesting, because her focus is on Su Mo. Chen Shen is becoming more and more scumbag. When Myrna looks at Su Mo, she feels that Su Mo is becoming more and more degenerate. You must know that Su Mo is considered outstanding in her circle, and she is still outstanding in a very positive way. Many of her elders have praised Su Mo. But now look, who is Su Mo playing with? The observation room explained that Su Mo and Chen Shen had a tacit understanding of their careers. Myrna pouted at that time. How arrogant Su Mo was. He was willing to do this just because of their tacit understanding of their careers. Also help Chen Shen solve the so-called Shuro field? Don't be kidding, if Su Mo was this kind of person, she would have been with an excellent career partner for so many years. Myrna leaned back on the chair, with an obvious curve at the corner of her mouth. To put it bluntly, she was attracted to Chen Shen, and she also accepted what Chen Shen did to girls. From this point of view alone, Myrna was indeed a little bit happy, because she felt that she would not be like this when facing Chen Shen, and would instead train Chen Shen to make money for herself. Looking at Su Mo like this, that is what Myrna didn't say to Chen Shen at the beginning. Su Mo went to Love Zone and her little golden body broke. Looking at Su Mo in this circle, they would only think that she was like this, nothing more. When the camera turned, it did not switch to the daytime perspective of the next day, but to the post-production scene. The third stage of love is here, collective team building. There were a bunch of question marks on the barrage, all asking, so fast, doesn't that mean there's a finale? Then another group of people retorted in a weird way, saying that other romance dramas must not be so fast. Don't all dates take place in one day? But Chen Shen only had an appointment for 4 days, how could he be unhappy? The subtitles appear on the screen, Saturday. Then the screen split into 4 screens, each showing the 4 bedrooms. Everyone got up and packed their things. Su Mo and Su Mian brought the least things, a small suitcase each, but Su Mian brought Chen Shen's big guitar. Maid, Sister Mo can't help Chen go during group building, right? The scumbag is really scumbag, and I am really happy to watch it. I just want to know how this show will end. Can't the director give everyone a card at the end and explain it one by one? Isn't that a hooligan? Director, I don't care, there must be a behind-the-scenes feature in the end. I want to know how they still agreed to the show after knowing the truth, ha ha ha. Here comes the big one. You can have fun on a one-on-one date. Which one can you take care of in group building? Actually, I think the ending is very good. Each person is given a knife, and then Chen Go is tied up, and each person is stabbed with a knife. Welcome everyone to watch how Chen Dog died. What the hell, I know that collective team building is Chen Go's headwind, but I just don't dare to say this. I've been slapped in the face too much. All kinds of ridicule started on the barrage, and for the first time, the audience felt that the framework of Lian Zone was so reasonable. Save the collective team building for the last party. According to traditional romance, this party is basically finalized and there is nothing interesting to see. However, in this show, the best thing to watch is the group interaction. The brisk BGM sounded, everyone got in the car, and the scene was analyzed in the observation room. Myrna didn't listen to those analyses, and she didn't like this party either. It's just that traditional romantic dramas are all about amateurs who lack popularity, and artists need to watch them, which is also convenient for promoting progress and maintaining the image of amateurs. Myrna is watching some group chats. She started watching the show as soon as it was released. It is similar to the timeline of the first batch of people watching. There are people chatting in the group all the time, like a group of people watching the show together. This also shows the success of this show. It is difficult for Myrna's circle to collectively discuss a certain drama or a certain variety show. Myrna nodded while watching. Sure enough, people in this circle still cared more about Sumo. Some people who don't mind the matter are still making noise in the group, saying that the worse Chen Shen is, the better. For them, it's not that Chen Shen can't stop it, but that Sumo can't stop it. When Myrna looked at the screen again, the car had already set off, heading towards the edge of the city. As Myrna thought, Xia King Ai was a bit out of tune with the other three. The second batch came and even provoked Chen Shen, so Xia King Ai sat alone in the car with the other three male guests. That's it, if Chen Shen only gets along with Xia Qing, the show may not be able to continue recording. The vehicle drives out of the city and then up the mountain, switching to the drone's perspective. The trees are so dense that sometimes you can't even see the car, only the trees. After the forests were all died, some wild people began to appear. The car parked in the parking lot of a resort, and then handsome men and beautiful women got out of the car one after another. Zhao Chunsheng appeared on the show again. After saying a few words, he asked them to choose their tents. On the gentle mountainside, there are several old-fashioned buildings scattered here and there. A stream protrudes from the mountain. In the middle of the lush green grass, a wooden plank road cuts across. From a drone perspective, it looks like a scene from an anime. On the wooden plank road, several female guests were looking at Chen Shen, as if they wanted to know which tent Chen Shen would choose. Chen Shen breathed a sigh of relief, and then said loudly, "The mountain road has so many twists and turns that it makes me dizzy. I'll take a nap first. If you have activities, don't call me." After saying that, Chen Shen got into a large tent next to him. Ha 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 started to float on the barrage screen. That's it? You are a scumbag with a hammer. Stand up and jerk off. What's the point of hiding? It's only 2 days and 1 night, ha ha ha. You know you're afraid. They're all in a pile, so let's play. I'll see how you use those tricks. It's finally time to get together, Chen Go, you should die. You have to face what you have to face. You've been comfortable for so long. It's our turn to be comfortable. The observation room was also enjoying themselves, but when everyone went to choose tents, Chen Shen did not sleep. Instead, he got up, and then started typing away with his computer. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 240. The chat on the bullet screen was very enthusiastic. The team building lasted for 2 days and 1 night. This kind of team building is easy to heat up after the emotions are formed. The bullet screen was summarizing the progress bars between Chen Shen and the 4 female guests so far. Logically speaking, from Chen Shen's perspective, he should slowly extinguish these progress bars, otherwise there would be no way to end it, because the show can be broadcast, which means that everyone has nodded. If Chen Shen deceives well, someone will definitely lose their mentality, and then the show cannot be broadcast. From the setting point of view, Chen Shen's date with the 4 female guests is not the climax of the whole show, but how everyone accepts this at the end. Many people went out in advance to scold the program team. If they hold back a lot of anger at the end, and the program team forcefully explains and appeases them, it will be meaningless. At present, the bullet screen is divided into 3 factions. These discussions are not the kind of discussions between children. Many bigwigs are also analyzing in the group. First, it is the path that Xia King Ai prepared for Chen Shen. Overall, it is the most reasonable path. Chen Shen has enough topics, even if he wants to go to the entertainment industry, it is enough. Xia King Ai asked Chen Shen to hold hands with her not because she wanted to win selfishly, but because she was partial to Chen Shen. After all, Xia King Ai still has a company behind her. This is Xia King Ai's greatest sincerity. She can't make decisions on many things. This group of people are also looking forward to Chen Shen getting closer to Xia King Ai in this group. Second, holding hands with Su Yuan, pretending to be real, is very unfair to Su Yuan, but I just like you in this process. With Chen Go's level, from this perspective to appease Su Yuan, no one in the barrage thinks that Chen Shen can't do it. This path is feasible because it can not only protect Su Yuan, but also do it for Xia King Ai and Yuan Media to see. Taking the initiative to hold hands with Su Yuan to let Xia King Ai win, and not harming your Xia King Ai, is very sincere, right? This group of people are yelling on the barrage, yelling at Chen Shen to look at Su Yuan. Su Yuan is your best destination. Third, just play badly, don't get close to anyone, and then don't choose anyone. Those who say this are basically people who like to have fun and fans of the setting. People who like to have fun like to watch this kind of exaggerated scenes the most. The more exaggerated, the more they like it. It has come to this point. Whoever is with them, won't someone be sad? Then just hurt everyone. There are really many people among the fans of the setting who like Chen Shen as a person. They think the most important thing is to get out of it safely. What's a woman? With the level that Chen Go has shown so far, without women, he is invincible. Really choosing one is equivalent to putting a tight ring on yourself. This group of people don't expect anyone. They are scolding the first two groups of people on the barrage, saying that they have watched too many childish idol dramas. Myrna kept laughing while watching it. The subtext deep in her heart was that for this kind of program, watching the barrage during the transition can make you laugh so much. How can friendly stations compete? Have you seen barrages that are as violent as a storm in streamlined mode? Myrna is not one of the three factions. She hopes Chen Shen will pay more attention to Su Mo and let this maverick female investor from Pengcheng fall down. That would be interesting. The show continued. Chen Shen slept until noon and was still yawning while sitting at the dinner table. After lunch, Chen Shen ignored the gazes of others and called Su Yuan to go back openly. Question marks began to float on the barrage, and those who thought Chen Shen was going to be with Su Yuan immediately began to suppress the question marks. You can only put a question mark? What are you asking? Yuan is very attractive. What's wrong with Chen Go choosing her? I'll give up 1 million to be with Yuan. This ending is not good. Yes, that's it. If you don't choose Yuan and lie to her the whole time, then why do you go to the entertainment industry? As long as you choose Yuan, we will support you to become the new king of domestic entertainment. Chen Go, that's it? We have already compromised. As long as you treat Yuan well, we will follow you to the entertainment industry to see what's going on. Those who put question marks are all trying to harm you. On the wooden plank road, Chen Shen sent Su Yuan back to the tent for a nap. Su Yuan, just now you said that you would take me to climb the mountain tomorrow. Does it count? Chen Shen, of course it counts. Su Yuan was very close to Chen Shen. In the sun, both of them were a little hard to look away. Many people felt sorry for Su Yuan. They thought that with Su Yuan's appearance, as long as she met a normal person, she would be treated as a treasure. As a result, she met Chen Shen. Su Yuan is also the person who has changed the most in the show. At the beginning, she was nice to everyone, but now, she seems to lean towards Mian. She has gradually lost sight of other people and occasionally even has to say a few words to Zhou Gaikan. Chen Shen suddenly looked at Su Yuan again, but I'm afraid you won't want to climb the mountain with me tomorrow. Su Yuan smiled and pointed to the mountain on the right side of the grass and said, just wait, you definitely can't climb over me, this little mountain is nothing. Chen Shen just smiled, and Su Yuan began to tell Chen Shen which dish was delicious. After sending Su Yuan back to the tent, Chen Shen obviously looked left and then right under the camera. At this time, the camera switched, and several male guests were catching crabs in the creek in shorts, and Xia King Ai walked out of the mountain of the building where they were having dinner alone. She was dressed in a neutral style, wearing a white sun hat, which was both exquisite and cool. A lot of people praised her beauty on the barge. The camera zoomed into the opposite side of Xia King Ai, where Chen Shen happened to be sitting on the wooden plank road. He was still waving at Xia King Ai. Xia King Ai turned his head away and deliberately didn't look at Chen Shen. Chen Shen stood up and ran over. The barge started to float with question marks. What does it mean? You called Su Yuan away in front of everyone, isn't that a signal? Turn around and look for Xia King Ai with a licking face. And when they were in the car, he and Xia King Ai had a bit of passive conflict. After all, Chen Shen was alone in a car with 3 other people, leaving her aside, and telling jokes and arguing with each other on the intercom. It is very clear from the perspective of God, Xia King Ai seemed to be in a bad mood because Chen Shen called Su Yuan away, and went for a walk in the mountains. Chen Shen said that he would let Xia King Ai be fine, and then go to find Su Yuan, which is logical. If Chen Shen held hands with Su Yuan, it would be to let Xia King Ai be fine and let her win. But at this time, he turned back to find Xia King Ai, and many people on the barge didn't understand. Chen Shen smiled and said, "Are you still angry? The wooden plank road is not wide. If Xia King Ai goes to the left, Chen Shen will go left, and if Xia King Ai goes to the right, Chen Shen will go right." Xia King Ai laughed, then turned around and jumped off the wooden plank road, looking like she didn't want to say a word to Chen Shen. The barge began to laugh, and it was obvious that Xia King Ai was not as easy to coax as Su Yuan. Seeing Chen Shen jump down, Xia King Ai glared and said, "Is there something wrong?" The two of them confronted each other. Xia King Ai stared at Chen Shen with her exquisite big eyes, and didn't run away, as if to say, "Aren't you blocking me? Okay, I'll give you a chance to see what you have to say." Many people sighed in the barrage, and the picture they saw was the most intuitive, just like Chen Shen and Su Yuan standing together. People with feelings can be seen when they are together. Xia King Ai is a famous beauty in the entertainment industry. The whole network is scolding Chen Shen for being a scumbag, but no one says that Chen Shen is not handsome. They sighed, sighing that it seemed that these two could be together, and they wanted to scold but couldn't bear to scold. Chen Shen came forward, slowly stretched out his hand, and slowly hugged Xia King Ai. Under the camera, Chen Shen's hug and Xia King Ai's questioning eyes changed dramatically. Her first reaction was not to push Chen Shen away, but to frown, then pout, and finally look around in panic. This posture lasted for several seconds, and Xia King Ai pushed Chen Shen away. "Are you going to die?" The last second, the barrage was still sighing and supporting the debate of the audience with different choices, and the next second, it all turned into question marks. The voiceover in the observation room sounded, "This is not it, why doesn't he restrain himself, is it really possible? Yuan Media doesn't care? Are you crazy or are we crazy?" The host's voice sounded immediately afterwards, "I have been in the industry for 18 years, and I think there will be no things in this industry that exceed my cognition, until I came to love this lesson. I understand your surprise, because this matter seems to be nonsense. I think it's okay for two young people to be impulsive, but do the program group and the company behind King Ai really not care at all? You kiss me, I hug you, and then it's all broadcast." The barrage didn't understand it either. Seeing that the big guys in the circle in the observation room didn't understand it either, it hit their funny points, and the barrage started to laugh. "It's really weird. Why can all these pictures be broadcast? No one believes the script because they can't understand it at all." Chen Shen is still actively opening the progress bar at this time. As Xia King Ai said, "Is he going to die?" Myrna laughed, "This is her bad taste." Myrna immediately picked up her phone and looked at the group. Sure enough, many people in the group were laughing. Chen Shen didn't seem to think about ending it at all. He didn't seem to choose any of the so-called choices discussed by everyone. For Myrna and her friends, the pressure was directly given to Su Mo if it continued like this, not to mention that Su Mo's little golden body would be broken. It would be a joke in the entire financial circle. Is this the man that the goddess of the financial circle values? In the show, Chen Shen wiped the dust on the wooden plank road with his sleeves. Sit down for a while, let's have a confession. Xia King Ai was no longer stubborn, and there was a whale on the barge. According to their understanding, the biggest significance of Chen Shen's hugging Xia King Ai was to show off his dominance over Xia King Ai. Goddess, right? He was hugging a goddess. After Xia King Ai sat down, she began to explain, I was in a bad mood, and you provoked me. Chen Shen laughed out loud. Xia King Ai, what are you laughing at? Chen Shen, I remember when I first met you. At that time, I thought I was doomed. How could I win since you're here? Xia King Ai rolled his eyes at Chen Shen, haha, you mean that's all, right? You look down on me? Do you believe that I've tricked you into losing everything? The comments were followed by some people who were still helping Chen Shen to refute, saying that you let others hug you, and you're still cheating on them. Chen Shen did not refute Xia King Ai, thank you. Xia King Ai snorted softly. Chen Shen, aren't you curious about how I ended up? Xia Qing looked over, her eyes sparkling, really tell me. Chen Shen smiled and said, it's not a secret, why do you think I'm blocking you here? I have something to tell you in advance. Sister Mo helped me a lot, but her identity is different. After the show was broadcast, those ordinary people who don't understand must think that Sister Mo is interested in me, but they don't know that Sister Mo is just a simple and kind person. It's just that I have been pestering her to help me, and I also tried every means to bring her to my house to show up, so I racked my brains to make a little gift for Sister Mo. When the audience saw this, some thought Chen Shen was going to fool Xia King Ai again, and he was trying to fool her. Isn't this just a precaution? He said he was going to find Sister Mo. Others believed it and were curious about what Chen Shen was going to give Sister Mo. But some people were unhappy. Myrna frowned at first, then smiled unhappily. Chen Xiaza, this bastard, actually moved out in advance during the recording of the show. Who was the mortal he was talking about? Isn't it people like me? Myrna picked up her phone and took a look at the WeChat group. Sure enough, the people in it were a little irritated. Am I so clear-headed? Did you consider this moment when recording? Why do I feel like it's a coincidence? Isn't he just trying to brainwash Xia King Ai? You made me laugh, saying I'm an ordinary person? Is Chen Shen aloof? He was hugging Xia King Ai the last second. Doesn't he think Su Mo will be moved when he sees this? So rude, no wonder he's a scumbag. It's hard to say. What if Su Mo falls for it? Aloof sister and aloof brother. Ha ha ha, I don't care. How many people in this world are not ordinary people? I want to see what he wants to do. In the show, Xia King Ai asked, what little thing? Chen Shen whispered, I said don't laugh. Xia King Ai shook her head, you said, I don't laugh. Chen Shen, I wrote a song. Xia King Ai was stunned at first, and then laughed out loud. Don't say she laughed, the barrage also laughed ha ha ha. Some people must be mocking, a big scumbag like you Chen Shen can write songs. Most of them got some interesting points. Chen Shen is a scumbag without a doubt. The scumbag seems to be playing the innocent trick, writing songs for the female guests, which is inexplicably cute. Writing songs is a trick that scumbags can play? Isn't it a trick played by innocent little boys? In the observation room, Yu Zhongqian was the first to laugh out loud at Chen Shen's words, and then others followed. Yu Zhongqian laughed and explained, it's not a mockery, don't get me wrong, I just suddenly think he's a little cute. Ling Yanhui said, then you are still mocking. Yu Zhongqian hurriedly waved his hands, it's really not a mockery, I feel that Chen Shen doesn't seem to know that he is a scumbag, otherwise why would he do this routine? Isn't it just to make us laugh? Myrna watched for so long and was a little thirsty and was drinking water. When Chen Shen said writing songs, she sprayed out a mouthful of water. She really felt that this sentence was a little silly and cute for Chen Shen, just like what Yu Zhongqian said, the feeling of a scumbag who doesn't know it. Under the camera, Chen Shen looked at Xiaoqing Ai with a sad face and smiled. Xiaoqing Ai, no, you can't blame me. I couldn't help it at all. Did you really write a song? An original one? Chen Shen sighed, that's about right. Xiaoqing Ai, she helped you deal with me, and then you gave her a song in return. Chen Shen looked at Xiaoqing Ai with a little surprise. Xiaoqing Ai, I told you not to underestimate people, okay? Sister Mo is not Yuan, so Yuan was foolish enough to be deceived by you and thought you liked her. Girls' intuition is very accurate. Among them, only Sister Mo puts the most pressure on me. If she really helps you, she can indeed interfere with the direction of the program's secondary creation. Chen Shen, more than that, it has nothing to do with the program. Xiaoqing Ai waved his hand, forget it, how about you listen to it first? It's really hard to say about originality. I'm afraid you'll make a fool of yourself. Chen Shen looked at Xiaoqing Ai with disdain, no, let's talk about it later. If it's embarrassing, I'll go to the director. At worst, don't broadcast this segment. Xiaoqing Ai laughed, if you don't, just listen to me. Chen Shen didn't reply, and Xiaoqing Ai kicked Chen Shen. Chen Shen, okay, I'll listen to you. Xiaoqing Ai was happy then. The barrage was still laughing, saying that Chen Go was young. You discussed these things with Xiaoqing Ai and they were broadcasted. Do you still expect the program team to be kind and not broadcast your embarrassing scenes? Is it possible? Zhao Chunshen's editing was on the hot search. Many people said that Zhao Chunshen would have a hard time in the circle after this variety show because his editing was too devilish. Chen Shen snatched his camera and made a fool of himself. Most people would not dare to appear on his show. The people in the observation room also laughed. After laughing for so long, they finally saw the innocent boy side of Chen Shen. Of course, this is a statement of high emotional intelligence. In fact, what they want to see is Chen Shen making a fool of himself. Jinan sighed and said, my personal advice is, don't do it. Let's not talk about whether Chen Shen can write songs. The key is whether Su Mo will buy this. Even if what Chen Shen said is true, he wants to thank Su Mo and express his persistence in Su Mo, and give Sister Mo a good reputation. But this kind of work is awkward. What era is it still doing this? You are awkward yourself and drag Sister Mo to be awkward. I feel like digging my toes on the ground when I think about it. Yu Zhongqian laughed and continued, if Chen Shen could write songs, he wouldn't have been a trainee in Black Gold Entertainment for 2 years without making a debut. But, I really want to watch this part, I want it so much, Chen Shen is so good, ha ha ha. The whole observation room was laughing. It was not easy to see Chen Shen make a fool of himself. The barrage was also like this, many people shouted that it was the new year. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 241. The camera turned and arrived at the resort. The sun was setting and a golden sunset slowly appeared where the mountains and the sky met. In the small square near the mountain, a barbecue scene was slowly set up, and a large speaker set up next to it played melodious music. Chen Shen was fanning the barbecue stove with a cattail fan, and Fang was standing in front of the barbecue stove, grilling meat. Just when everyone was talking and laughing with each other, Joe Gaiken suddenly clapped his hands. "Let's play some games." "What game?" Seeing everyone looking at him, Joe Gaiken looked at Chen Shen. "It's not complicated, truth or dare, simple and crude. Do you dare to play?" Joe Gaiken's sentence was filled with exclamation points, mixed with comments like "ugly brother, my hero." However, the next second, Su Yuan immediately retorted, "This game has been ruined for a long time. It's boring. Let's change it." Xia King I followed up, "In what age are you still playing this kind of game?" When the camera turned to the barbecue grill, Fang also lowered his head and whispered to Chen Shen, "Look, he's full of bad ideas." A gasp sounded from the observation room. Has Chen Go's control reached this point? Wu Yuan and King I don't dare to play, it means they don't dare to gamble with Chen Shen. Mad, you bitch. Ugly brother, why are you such a bad guy? Can't you even get along with a good friend? I really want to hear Chen Go sing right now, can you hurry up? Some people were unwilling, so they had to renegotiate, and soon they started playing a game of catching ducks. The barrage was filled with complaints about Su Yuan and Xia King I, saying that neither of them was much better. Truth or dare is old-fashioned, but catching ducks is new. Whoever made a mistake got to perform the show. After several cycles, Su Mo made a mistake, and everyone was cheering and applauding, asking Su Mo to perform the show. Su Mo, who has always been relatively calm, was a little flustered this time. Joe Gaiken smiled and said, "In this way, if you don't perform a show, you can tell the truth." At this moment, Chen Shen put down his cattail leaf fan. "Sister Mo, please call me for off-site assistance." Question marks floated over the barrage, followed by "ha ha ha ha. Good guy, I finally found a chance for you. Chen Go, get out of the way, I'm going to show off, ha ha ha. Chen Go, you really dare to bet on the kindness of the show crew? I'm so afraid to watch it. Come on, brother, please don't do it to me. I'm afraid Sister Mo will kill you." "What the hell, hold it in until the end and you'll make yourself a big mess, right?" Myrna also burst out laughing. She knew Su Mo more or less. It was really impossible for Su Mo to fall for this trick. She has always been a calm and dignified person since she was a child. If this trick worked, the university would be overtaken by those flashy people. If someone wins, will it be your turn? However, it is indeed lively. The barrage is full of ha 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 ha, and the number of barrages has skyrocketed. Su Mo looked over and waved at Chen Shen. Chen Shen's expression immediately became serious, and he even ran over to wash his hands, and then took the big guitar standing next to the stereo. Joe Gaiken said angrily, "Oh, you still play and sing, you are so nice to Sister Mo." The barrage was ha 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 again. Chen Shen glanced at Joe Gaiken and ignored him. He looked at Su Mo. "I've been a little bored these days, so I just wrote something. This is a song I tried to write from your perspective, Sister Mo, listen to it. Listen to it, and if you think it's good, you can make it into a song later. If it doesn't, forget it." The barrage is full of yin and yang, saying it's okay, how could it not be possible as written by Chen Go? Some people scolded, saying that no wonder Chen Shen had to explain to Su Yuan that Su Yuan might not be willing to climb the mountain with him. In the camera, Su Yuan was really the only one. His face looked unnatural. Su Mo stood up and said, "Don't mess around." This sentence made them nervous because of the barrage. They were really afraid that Su Mo would be stopped by Chen Shen. It would be a pity not to sing the scene to everyone's enjoyment. A lot of fun people post some messy so-called lyrics on the barrage, similar to some earthy love words with Su Mo's name, and then the barrages are all ha 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 ha. Chen Shen nodded at Su Mo, then flicked his fingers slightly, and the crisp guitar sound rang. The calm and melodious notes began to spread, and Sumo's frown slowly dispersed. Question marks slowly began to appear on the barrage. Love makes people sad. Love is more trapped. Women are so smart. When you fall in love, you become stupid. Just 2 sentences, the number of question marks on the barrage increased greatly, and there were also a lot of exclamation marks. The corner of the screen switched to the observation room, which was playing simultaneously. Yu Zhongqian was a serious original singer and one of the top in China. When Chen Shen sang the first line, he stood up and stretched his head unconsciously. The expression on his face was disbelief, and then the entire observation room slowly stood up. Myrna was leaning on her chair to watch, leisurely waiting for Chen Shen's big job. When the prelude started playing, she slowly sat up. As soon as Chen Shen opened his mouth, she immediately got close to the screen. Chen Shen's singing voice is very clear and steady, making people follow him quietly as soon as he opens his mouth. Often love someone. There are thousands of possibilities. The taste is not necessarily better. Lonely pillow for a long night. The camera scanned the expressions of everyone present, all of whom were infinitely shocked. Several people looked at each other in disbelief. On the barrage, people who reacted already started to slap me. Sumo's expression gradually became complicated. Her eyes were always on Chen Shen. Chen Shen occasionally looked at Sumo. Someone in the observation room wanted to talk. Yu Zhongqian immediately looked over and hissed. I won't escape. I will be very serious. That love knocks on the door. The echo is really deep. I never wanted to be single. But I have a premonition that I will get married late. Why is Myrna close to the screen? Firstly, the guitar intro was reliable, and secondly, Chen Shen's voice was nice, so I instinctively moved closer to the screen to read the lyrics. Just the first 2 sentences gave Myrna a feeling of excitement. Love makes people sad and love makes them trapped. Women are really smart but become stupid when they fall in love. Is this written for Sumo? This question was Myrna's first reaction. Because these 2 sentences sum up Su Yuan and Xia King Ai in all aspects. Are these 2 people stupid? In the beginning, Su Yuan was the one who slowly turned the tables and made both Zhou Gaikan and Chen Shen pay attention to her. She was the social glue. How could such a person be stupid? The same goes for Xia King Ai, a woman who was drafted from Penguin Video and created K-Pi for Penguin Video. Is she stupid? Chen Shen's 2 sentences clearly explained Xia King Ai and Su Yuan. This is where Myrna couldn't help but feel excited, and she was now completely focused. Immediately following the second paragraph, there are thousands of possibilities for loving someone, and the taste is not necessarily better than being alone for a long night. This is also a perfect illustration of this program. In other romance dramas, is love a good thing? That's so good, all sweet. But is love a good thing here? No, no one in the audience thinks Su Yuan's love is a good thing, so it's not necessarily better than spending a long night alone. The dense exclamation marks on the barrage also showed this, and they were all shocked. After Myrna was overjoyed, the following words made her scalp numb. She was definitely shocked. However, she could not tolerate her emotions. Chen Shen kept singing and couldn't bear to press pause. At worst, he would come back and watch it again. She originally thought that Chen Shen wanted to write a song for Sumo to confess a lot of things. This idea was outrageous, because she also wanted to see Chen Shen's jokes at first, but it was not funny at all. Until that love knocked on the door, the echo was so deep that Myrna thought that Chen Shen wanted to sing to others, until the next 2 sentences. I never wanted to be single, but I had a premonition that I would marry later. Myrna couldn't help but feel her scalp tingle, because everything she followed logically was wrong. Chen Shen's perspective was completely brought into Sumo's writing, and she gave it to Sumo. Moreover, these two sentences also touched Myrna herself. She had never thought about being single, but she also had a premonition that she would marry later. The kind of feeling that I was prepared to watch, but then I was calmly accepted, thinking that this guy is so awesome that he sang his heartfelt words to several other people in the name of writing a song for Sumo, and then found that Chen Shen really cared for Sumo, very complex, and a different kind of excitement. What are you doing? My scalp is numb, really. I don't seem to understand, but I seem to understand everything, and then I can bring it in. Is there a big boss who can say something? What level is this? Is it drafted? Does it sound so good? Look at the upper right corner. Yu Zongqian's expression in the upper right corner has not recovered yet. I stood up. Really, I don't know what I'm excited about. It must be something good to hear. Looking at Sister Mo's expression, I'm completely immersed. No, brother, you are really good at it, woo woo woo. Chen Shen's steady voice sounded again. I'm waiting. The only soul in the world that matches. Let me put some makeup on my face. Let him hear all the rumors. If anyone fights with me in the future. He promised not to remain silent. Can he? Can I? Under the camera, Sumo's mouth moved visibly, as if she was about to say something but held back. Her eyes seemed to soften all of a sudden. When Chen Shen started to play the piano accompaniment, she didn't know where to start. Na took out a pair of headphones and put them on Sumian. Myrna glanced at her arms, covered in goosebumps. I was waiting for the only compatible soul in the world to let me put makeup on my face and let him hear all the rumors. Myrna took a long breath unconsciously, focused her eyes on the person on the screen, and a sentence popped into her head: how could he write so well, how could he understand women so well? Sumo's eyes changed. Myrna thought it was strange that she hadn't changed. With the addition of these sentences to the previous sentence, even my mother's heart softened. As the person who was named, it was strange that she hadn't changed. Give Sumian some headphones, right? You don't want others to hear it, right? Myrna felt that the last time she got goosebumps while listening to a song was when she listened to those majestic symphonies in the concert hall. It was really shocking, but this one was equally powerful. Every line of Chen Shen's lyrics is traceable and not artificial at all. If you say it's for Sumo, just give it to Sumo. However, what does it mean that you can sing it to your own heart? It shows that the original power of words and the common humanistic emotions have been grasped. One method works for all. Although Myrna is not a professional music taster, her rich accumulation has enough self-judgment. Myrna clicked pause unconsciously. She was very reluctant to let go, but her emotions were a bit ups and downs. Sumo is someone I know, and Chen Shen is someone I just met. Both of them broke their inherent perceptions and regenerated new and different perceptions in the form of music. It was a wonderful experience. Myrna sighed, oh, I can't blame her. This kind of emotion is really priceless. Myrna picked up her phone and took a look at the group. The group was unusually quiet. Why don't you chat anymore? Weren't you very happy just now? What's wrong? I said I would watch it when I got back. Seeing you guys chatting, this episode is so exciting. Where are the people? What's wrong? Myrna put down her phone. For some reason, she actually felt that the group of people who usually like to brag to them seemed a little bit ordinary. Clicking the spacebar on the computer again, the barrage was already a storm. Countless barrages such as listen again, amazing and so on began to float on the screen. I won't escape. I will be very serious. Then love comes knocking. The echo is really deep. I never want to be single. But I have a premonition of late marriage. I am waiting. The only soul in the world that fits. Telling slowly, clear and steady, step by step. The camera switched to the observation room. Everyone looked at each other cautiously, and no one dared to speak. Yu Zhongqian stretched out his arms, looked around, and said, "I finally understand the feeling of goosebumps you mentioned. My scalp is still numb now. It's the kind of feeling that you know it's stable when you hear the first sentence. You want to swear when you hear the chorus. You get goosebumps all over your body after listening to it. You are very good at singing and writing. You even have a feeling of why it is not written by yourself. Do you understand?" The host smiled bitterly. "How can I not understand? I can foresee that the audience will laugh at us after the segment is broadcast. It turns out that we are all xiaozhou. Li Ruqing is also a woman in her 30s. Maybe the song touched her emotional side?" She turned her head away with red eyes. The camera switched to the program. Chen Shen stood up after singing, then exhaled a long breath, looked at Su Mo and said, "How is it? Is it okay?" Su Mo's eyes were soft. "What's your name?" Chen Shen smiled, "Late marriage." For some reason, many people were sobbing on the barrage. Why am I so moved? As a girl, this is the first time I can't hate Chen Shen. Sister Mo, he seems to really understand you and us. I understand, completely understand. In fact, when I face him, I will probably be the same as UN. As long as he is willing, I may be willing to be deceived. It was obviously sung for Sister Mo, but I cried when I heard it. I never wanted to be single, but I have a premonition of late marriage. It's so well written. May I, you are awesome, bastard. Hey, it turns out that scumbags understand women. This song is really amazing. It's so well written. I, a man, feel numb when I hear it. They are all words I know in daily life, but when he puts them together and sings them, it feels different. It's so ironic that the scumbag wrote the most affectionate song in recent years. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 242. The camera was still in the observation room. At the beginning, Chen Shen was holding back and told Xiaoqing Ai that he had made a little thing. That expression, wasn't it because he was afraid of making a fool of himself? From a god's perspective, people who were superstitious about Chen Shen thought that he was paving the way for approaching Sister Mo at night with Xiaoqing Ai. More people wanted to see a joke. All the female guests were together, and they thought that Chen Shen's knowledge blind spot was touched. This guy lowered his dimension to play a pure love? As a result, the little thing he made shocked everyone. Yu Zhongqian smiled bitterly and said, "There is no way. This theme is actually a popular theme. So many young people are getting married late now, but at present, it seems that no song is as profound as Chen Shen's." Jinan seemed to come back to his senses and continued, "Teacher Yu, I think you should not benchmark him in writing about women. I should have thought of it earlier. People like Chen Shen have the foundation of art students. He writes songs for girls, which is actually a dimensionality reduction attack." In the last second, everyone was questioning and laughing at the joke. After being reminded by Jinan, they nodded again. Let's not talk about anything else. Women are really smart, but they become stupid when they fall in love. I'm afraid no one has more say than him. Art does come from life. As for the last sentence, I never want to be single, but I have a premonition of marrying late. I'm waiting for the only soulmate in the world. I think it's good for everyone to listen to it, the older actor interrupted. Everyone laughed. The only lady, Li Ruqing, frowned and said, "Is it possible that he is really a scumbag and doesn't know it?" Several older male actors smiled at each other. Who doesn't understand men's things? Just like women can't tell who is a green tea, is it possible? However, Yu Zhongqian nodded slowly, in fact, it is really possible. Look at his lyrics. Only songwriters understand the state of writing such lyrics. If the heart is not sincere, it is impossible to write these lyrics. Even Su Yuen, he tried to be honest, but the result was that he couldn't be honest. Even if he was honest on a date, Yuen would be sad. Everyone looked at each other, and Ling Yanhui laughed. Yu Zhongqian frowned. What are you laughing at? Ling Yanhui, let's be realistic. At this moment, do you hate Chen Shen? Yu Zhongqian was stunned, then slowly leaned towards the sofa, with a helpless smile on his face. To be honest, their attitude was to sincerely create everyone's image at the beginning. Later, Chen Shen became more and more excessive, and deep in his heart, he did disagree with the three views. But at this point, Yu Zhongqian seemed to have understood Chen Shen's inner world because of the song Late Marriage. Based on what Chen Shen showed, is he a fool? Obviously impossible. Then we can only say that he chose something more important and deliberately showed this side to the audience. Previously, Chen Shen told Xiaoqing that he wanted to give Su Mo a small gift, and no one listened to the sentence seriously. Looking at it now, Yu Zhongqian feels that the sentence is sincere. Su Mo's identity is indeed different. No matter what reason she has for playing with Chen Shen, it is low, and people are watching the joke. Yu Zhongqian sighed, thinking back at this time, Chen Shen was holding a computer from time to time under the camera, but it was really not playing. He knows everything, so he really racked his brains to write songs. He writes about people cooking, people playing, and sitting in front of the computer in the middle of the night. Doesn't he know that he won't be scolded if he slacks off while others cook? How is that possible? He didn't just tinker with a small thing, he had to come up with something amazing to eliminate some factors that make people laugh. Su Mo and Chen Shen play together? Is that low? What about now? Yu Zhongqian felt that if someone said this to him, Yu Zhongqian would just look at him like a fool. For a work like Late Marriage, you can change any woman to try. Yu Zhongqian is a professional. He feels that he can only write such a song in his life unless he has a chance. A theme is almost written to the extreme, that is, anyone who has thought about marriage and hears this song by chance will be touched. If you like to listen, and learn a little more, oh, it turns out that this great song was written by a man named Chen Shen for Su Mo. This is a story and a person embedded in a classic work. How could such a person be a so-called scumbag? Yu Zhongqian sighed, sighing that this might be because people in the arena cannot help themselves. Chen Shen knew that he would be scolded, but he did not restrain himself at all. Yu Zhongqian really could not hate such a person. Instead, he admired him from the bottom of his heart. Thinking back, Chen Shen himself said in the program that he wanted to develop in the entertainment industry, but he dared to do this. His scumbag was obviously different from others' scumbags, and he was not without choice. His family's career had already been solved. Ling Yanhui laughed again. It smells really good, right? Yu Zhongqian laughed ha ha ha, without explanation or rebuttal. At this moment, he and Ling Yanhui had a relatively unified understanding. The cameras switched to the holiday villa. Obviously, the program team did not expect Chen Shen to write songs, and a bunch of staff surrounded him. Everyone applauded spontaneously, and some conspicuous people even yelled at Chen Shen, but were covered by the beeping sound of the telegram. The audience's perspective was not so much, they were still immersed in the song, either calling go back and listen again or hum. Under the camera, Su Yuen stood up, lowered his head and walked towards the barbecue stall. Where was Xiaoqing Ai? He looked at Chen Shen with sparkling eyes. The barrage only then reacted, the screen was full of beasts. But the next second, the cameras switched to the barbecue stall. Fang Ye was still grilling skewers, and Su Yuen sat where Chen Shen had been sitting before, his eyes a little dull. Fang Ye sighed, "You're welcome, I can't help it. Please understand, it's not easy for him either." Question marks immediately started floating on the barrage. Su Yuan looked at Fang Ye. Fang Ye, Chen Shen didn't come to this show just to fall in love. There are some things you don't know. Su Yuan still didn't speak, but he was obviously listening carefully. Fang Ye, do you know Chen Hotpot? Su Yuan, most people in Yuzhou know this. What does this have to do with him? Fang Ye, Chen Hotpot signed a gambling agreement with Vanguard Capital 3 years ago, requiring them to go public within 3 years. As a result, Chen Hotpot not only failed to go public, but also suffered large losses. Some time ago, people from Vanguard Capital came to Chongqing. The state is here to handle this matter. Fang Ye, they found Chen Hotpot and asked Chen Hotpot to compensate for the investment and interest caused by the failed gambling agreement. This matter is like a domino. A large area will collapse at the first touch. The investor wants money, and the bank cannot not want the money. Suppliers are also afraid that Chen Hotpot will not be able to pay. For Chen Hotpot, this period is critical. Su Yuan frowned and said, "Brother Ye, you don't want to tell me a story, do you?" Fang Ye sighed again and moved closer. "Chen Shen, his family's business is Chen Hotpot." "How is that possible?" Su Yuan glared and instinctively looked towards the table. Chen Shen sat in her seat. After looking away, he murmured and asked, "You mean, he and Sister Mo know each other personally?" Fang Ye, as far as I know, they didn't get to know each other until they came here. That's why I told you to understand him a little. Sister Mo seems to have helped him a lot. I am half a person in the investment circle. Chen Hotpot has come back to life in the past 2 days. United Pilot Capital and Yuxiang are going to create a new brand. It is said that Qin Wenzi, the cave owner of Hanja Cave, was personally involved in this matter. Now Chen Hotpot not only has funds, we the people. Under the camera, while Fang was talking, Su Yuan's eyes frequently looked towards the table, and then his originally depressed expression slowly turned into aggrieved. She interrupted Fang Ye's words and pouted, "Stop talking. I blame him, and I blame him for not telling me this. He asked you to tell me." This time it was Fang's turn to be stunned. The subtitles appear, the 6th issue is over, and the camera switches to the observation room. Has now reached the point where I don't need Chen Go's comfort. Maid, this scumbag, I thought he didn't care about Yuan. Why don't I call Chen Go a scumbag now? Instead, I want to scold him for ignoring Yuan. I've listened to it 4 times, and it's really touching, especially at the end when Sister Mo asked Chen Go what his name was, and Chen Go said it was late marriage. That scene was so touching. Exaggeration, such an exaggeration. This bitch laid the groundwork before setting off. He confessed to Brother Ye just so that Brother Ye could explain the situation to Yuan clearly. Then he went to confess to Xia King Ai during the day. King Ai, this little fool, is still smiling and applauding. Hey, it's not that women are stupid when they fall in love. It's when they meet Chen Shen that they become stupid. I can't scold him now. I really like his song. I can only humbly beg you. You are so smart, can you don't hurt them? I just started watching it yesterday. After watching it in one breath, my scalp is numb. No wonder my circle of friends are all talking about this show. Chen Shen is too exaggerated. Nah, he saved his family's career in the first half of the issue, and in the second half he wrote a song Late Marriage for Sister Mo, whether it's to thank him or prove that he can go into the entertainment industry, or to tell Sister Mo's friends, as he said, it's him. Even if I'm stalking Sister Mo, I admire this guy from the bottom of my heart. It's so exaggerated. The barrage was full of emotions. There was too much content in this issue, and some parts required them to check it out online. After the last episode, the last barrage was full of curses. After this episode, there were all kinds of shocked emotions, and the same was true in the observation room. When the subtitles appeared and said that this issue was over, Jinan stood up. He looked at everyone, shaking their heads in emotion. Host, let me start by saying, I have too much to say in this episode. I finally understand why the program team edited Chen Shen like this. Before this episode, I was confused because I didn't know Chen Shen. How to end it, but if the show still has to be edited like this, isn't that just playing with his life? Moreover, Chen Shen himself said that he still wants to go to the entertainment industry. Everyone nodded. Host, it turns out that the ending was all on Chen Shen, so I had to edit it like this. The good thing is him, and the bad thing is him. Many people may not understand why Chen Shen wrote a song called Late Marriage for Sister Mo. My current understanding may not be correct, but I would like to put it bluntly. Frankly speaking, I have been doing variety shows for 18 years, and I have never received a show that made me feel numb. Speaking of this, the host's tone was a little complicated. This guy is really too smart. He really didn't do it to show off in front of everyone. He wrote this song for a key role, so I told Fang Ye before he came. I made it clear, let him look at you, and Qing Yi was taken care of by him. I still remember Qing Yi's look before. The light of surprise was so impressive. As for Mian, from the beginning having laid the foundation, looking at Qing Yi, Sister Mo, and Yuan, Chen Shen is the most sincere towards Mian, and they are all telling the truth. I may be a bit long-winded. I am also organizing my thoughts while speaking. I think the core logic of Chen Shen's songwriting is for this program to be broadcast. Everyone listened to the host Lin Tong's words while thinking, and then nodded with emotion. However, when it came to the sentence, except for Jinan, everyone else frowned. Why is it for the program? Lin Tong said again, have you ever thought about why this program can be broadcast? The setting of our program is actually very dangerous. Just like documentaries, many documentaries have to be stuck when someone they record is unwilling to leave the country. Then you can't force it to be broadcast. From this perspective, some of what Chen Shen did is meaningful. Ling Yanhui frowned and continued, so he patiently teaches Xiaobai. Lin Tong smiled and nodded, yes, many people look at these elements and may think that Chen Shen is showing his superiority. In fact, it is not. From his perspective, everyone must gain something before they are willing to go abroad. Yu Zhongqian glared, so, you mean Chen Shen wrote this song for Su Mo for this purpose? This time Lin Tong did not nod directly. I can't say whether this is the intention, but there must be this intention. Obviously, our program is very explicit, so I said these aspects. I have to admit that Su Mo's identity is indeed different. She is with Chen Shen. Even if she doesn't care, what about her family? What about her friends? He himself said that Sister Mo helped him and was willing to give Chen Hotpot a chance, so Sister Mo should not be wronged. Can you understand it this way? Ling Yanhui nodded, I understand. What he wrote was not a love song, but a song that could resonate with women from the perspective of Sister Mo, just like what he said. Even if someone looked at Su Mo with tinted glasses, it was Chen Shen who was pestering Su Mo, so he wrote a song for Sister Mo that was not a love song, and it was also to save face for Sister Mo. Someone frowned and objected, according to this logic, what about Xiaozhou? I saw so many people talking about Xiaozhou on the internet yesterday. Chen Shen is so powerful, why doesn't he take care of Xiaozhou? Xiaozhou doesn't want to appear on the show, so he still can't appear on the show. Jinan, who had been silent, smiled and said, then when you were surfing the internet, did you find that someone had already spread the rumor that Chen Shen had signed with Huan Yu? The host smiled and nodded, this is also my question. He has dealt with everyone, why didn't he deal with Xiaozhou? Judging from the content of the program, has he never approached Xiaozhou? Do you think he didn't notice it or did it on purpose? If, after recording the Love variety show, Xiaozhou felt very uncomfortable, Why should I take on such a role attribute? However, Chen Shen found him and asked if you can help me go to your Huanyu. Think about it, can this condition impress Xiaozhou? Except for Jinan who took over the conversation earlier, the rest of the people stared. This is awesome, my scalp is starting to tingle again. Yeah, why did Chen Go want to sign Huanyu? We know, Huanyu has issued an announcement, and many people said that Chen Shen would never sign Huanyu. If this is the logic, then I understand, if Chen Shen goes to Huanyu, Xiaozhou will definitely agree happily. Huanyu's stock price has already hit 3 daily limits. Damn, what's wrong with scolding a clown? It's exaggerated, very exaggerated, but I think it's reasonable. Chen Go, this bastard, can't be thought of with common sense, he really did this. I've finished watching the show, but I'm so excited now, it's another day of insomnia. Chen Go, this bastard, can give you surprises in every episode. I can understand what Lin Tong said, but how will the female guest end? If this is true, Zhao Chun Shen kowtow to Chen Go.